You're listening to the Python Podcast with James, Nick, Gigi, Josh, Sam, and Tom. Ring the
bell. How you been?
Oh my, well, okay. It's been crazy. Like, I've been doing the Diva Dirt thing. I wrote my articles. Later, after I wrote those 3 articles, because I usually write about 3 at a time. Mm-hmm. So I wrote one about Charlotte, the rumors on Charlotte storyline after SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, I read about some of those.
I don't remember what the other one was, but then I wrote that up about Paige, and at like an hour, I submitted it, and it's the middle of the night, so no one's there to approve it and go. Mm-hmm. So I wound up having to go to the hospital, and I was in the hospital for a little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. When I got home, I kind of sat down and was reading my messages, and I saw that the internet had fucking broke over that article. Fans were ripping it apart and stuff.
I didn't see. I read your article.
Knight had gone off about it.
I read your article. I didn't see anything bad.
Well, Saraya and even Paige, I could kind of understand where they would be Saraya especially, because that's her baby. And she's probably tired. Because Saraya is usually the one, if they can't get information from Paige, fans just mass flood Saraya Knight. Paige's mom will talk to us. Hey, Paige's mom. Hey, all these rumors about your daughter. I mean, she's probably sick of hearing it too. But, in the article, I felt like I really tried to express that that this was all shit that I had read on the internet. Uh-huh. That, because we didn't know. WWE is so lax about reporting injuries. And Paige had uploaded something on her Instagram, and I had even seen it and just didn't connect that was what was going on. She was just in the gym working out. And, she just said, working on making my back and shoulders stronger. Well, hell, that's what they all do, because they need their back and shoulders to be strong to lift each other up. So I didn't think anything about it was an injury. But yeah, I just thought it was so funny because they came for Diva Dirt hard. But also in Saraya's thing, she was talking about she's not pregnant or something. I was like, who said she was pregnant? That's crazy. But they came for Diva Dirt hard kind of deal.
When did Saraya respond? Because I looked on her Twitter, I couldn't find anything.
Oh, well, maybe she took it down. But
she probably did, because I was looking for it right after you was telling me about it, and I read your article, and I was like, I don't think Brandy said anything bad.
No, it's just speculation.
You were just reporting what's been said.
Yeah, and I was talking to the other Diva Dirt people. I was like, do I think Paige is having a mental breakdown? No. But at the end of the day, the Knight family, Paige, they're entertainers. And this article generated a lot of people talking about Paige again. So
I personally think that they're just not using her right now. I don't think she's in any behavioral issues. I don't think there's anything like that. I just think that right now she's not the focus. So I think people need to just calm down.
Yeah. I mean, Diva Dirt, it was a speculative article based off of, what people on Reddit are saying and all these other things. And so I was trying to put together just a day before she had been on Twitter and she was into it with a fan. When that whole supposed Vegas arrest, that wasn't really arrest, went down, that was also other altercations with a fan. And then she got pulled from those shows, and I'm just like...
That was for Total Diva. Wasn't it?
That was my thing. I was like, are they keeping her off the air for Total Diva? Either way, my article was one that, it had a lot of jokes and puns
this is what
in
I
it
think.
And everything like that. And, the line at the end of it, the meltdown circa Britney 2007... set people the fuck off. They were so mad about that. And I was like, you're trying to insinuate Paige has a mental disorder. I was like, no, I'm just comparing the photos of Britney yelling at Popos with a umbrella to Paige having all these run-ins with it's supposed to be humorous. Listen, I guess that's what happens when you write articles at 3:00 in the morning.
You know what I think what's going on with Paige is circulating around Total Divas. She has that random little love thing with Del Rio. I think WWE is keeping her off TV to frustrate her so that she can have a storyline for Total Divas that she's not being used. Yeah. I think that's going to be her storyline. And that, right now she's not doing so well at work and her personal life is in a different direction with Del Rio. I think it's a whole thing. So I guess we have to wait for Total Divas. But once that shit starts airing, Paige will be right back on TV. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like it's a smart idea to keep her off because she was we had made that we had that speculation before, like what is going on with Paige? She's not on TV as much. And in the episode of Total Divas, when we got to that time, we found out that she was it was during the episode where she didn't want to go to Rose's baby shower because of her past with having had a miscarriage. So,
whatever. Speaking of Rosa, she's training again.
I know. Miss Rosa, this woman is so sweet. I wrote an article about Rosa training again. But the thing is that Rosa Rosa hadn't just been sitting at home eating chocolate, okay? She's been
working out.
She's been working out, she's been being a mom, but she's also launched a business called Totally Fit Mama. And it's like a meal plan business, and like lots of women are using it. Lots of women are tweeting in their results from using this. And so that's really what she's thrown a lot of her time behind.
Good.
Outside of the ring. And it's a wonderful message, and it's affordable. Like, if you try to get a nutritionist, someone to help you work with that kind of deal.
Who's her business partner? Is it her husband?
No, her business partner. I can't remember the lady's name. It was on the tip of my tongue.
It's not her husband. I think it's her fiance. He's a business owner too, and he has a very successful business.
Yeah, he does the clothing line.
Yeah,
right?
and I love his clothing line. I buy so much of his stuff. I like most of my shirts on Instagram. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, it's Jimmy Vibes. Oh, we're not even recording. Well, yeah, we'll keep this in. It's already recording. But yeah, he puts out some cool shit. I really like it.
Yeah, well, she teamed up with a certified nutritionist, like
good for her,
degrees and stuff, and they charge like right now they've got it like $35 for their first 12 weeks. Wow. So in the article, I talked about her coming back. But there's only so much you can say, so I shouted out her business, and then I gave my thoughts on how I thought it was awesome that Rosa is coming back to work, and she's proving that motherhood and your dreams can coexist. There's this stigma with women that once you have a child, you're done. You're a mom.
Especially in the wrestling business.
Yeah, it's like why is that? Jordan's still young. It's going to be a while before she's got to go to school. It's fine. Lots of children grow up jet setting. It's fine. But so I shouted out her business, and she, oh my gosh, she retweeted it. She replied to me, and then the next day she shouted out Diva Dirt for covering the article. So I was really pleased. She's proud woman.
She's proud of her business, and I think that's really good for her. And I think it's great that she's looking outside of WWE, because I think that's really important. Like the Bella Twins are doing that, Eva Marie is doing it. I think it's very, very important. They gotta use the platform. And now that WWE has given the women and superstars a little more freedom, especially the women, I feel like the women have more freedom than the superstars to venture out. And it's all because of Total Divas. Total Divas is a great platform for the women. So a lot of people who shade Total Divas, they don't realize how much it's done for.
Well, I'm getting over people shading these women for starting businesses. Rosa's business is awesome. It addresses an issue that's huge in especially the United States with obesity, and it helps people. It's affordable. Instead of paying $1,000-something to have someone give you a meal plan, you can pay like $35 for 12 weeks is the introductory price on that.
That's awesome.
And it's awesome. And they even have free stuff, like free sample recipes online, so it's great. Then you've got Eva Marie, who not only she's launching a fashion line called NEM Fashions.
Yeah.
But she's also started a nonprofit called the NEM Foundation, which is to help empower and celebrate entrepreneurship in women. And no one has said a thing about that. Like, I'm going to write an article about it later.
Oh, good. Yes, put some highlight in there.
Yeah, it's like, can we shout out these fucking powerful as hell women doing their damn thing?
Another one, Eve Torres. She was on Supergirl. She played Maxima. She had a great role, fight scene. I sent the link in the group chat. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but it's been rumored that she's been picked up for season 2 as well. So Kelly, she's on Wax. I always support the women when they venture outside of WWE and still survive to stay relevant and still provide for their families. I think it's awesome. So
and like
I always support them.
Yeah, especially with like Eve Torres doing stuff too. Like she recently. When in the news there was all these reports about this guy named Brock and the raping and stuff like that. She actually put out videos teaching women like
how to defend themselves.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu moves to help you like choke a fucker out. to be perfectly
Brandy,
honest.
how close is your mic to your mouth? Because I keep hearing you, like, breathe into it.
Oh, this mic. Let me see what I can do.
Sounds better already.
Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. This
'Cause I
mic is from like 2005, so I don't know how.
Oh, it sounds so much better. Because I don't want you to go back and listen back and be like, why didn't he tell me?
Yeah, that was on one of the episodes where I was having to mic Gigi and Tom, and then having to mic myself, and I would just be like.
Yeah, so I was like, let me let her know. Because I know you have pet peeves too with sound, just like me. That's why I love it when you record, because it's just like me. We can't stand it.
I'm like, I will filter this the fuck out somehow.
All right. Hey guys, it's Jimmy Vibes here, and I'm here with Brandy, and we're back for another episode. What's up, Brandy?
Oh, not much, just doing the thing. But also, guys, we just wanted to tell you, you've been asking for him. You've been waiting for him.
Oh my God.
One of the most requested stars of TPP. Oh, no. Nick!
Is not here. He's not here, of course. Like, come on. You know what? I'm really going to put Nick together right now. I'm going to pull a Gigi and really shade this bitch. This morning, we were, we have our huddles in the morning where we discuss what went on the night before. We were briefing the whole week and what we're going to do today, blah, blah, blah. So Nick is like, all right, James, you ready for a show today? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do a show. And I was like, but if you're not here, if I don't hear from you by 5 o'clock, I'm moving on. And I didn't know that Brandy was going to be available today. So then Nick's like coming at me, telling me, oh, shut up, bitch. When I tell you I'm going to be there, I'll be there. Yada, yada, yada. So I was like, I keep sending a gift of this woman rolling her head in her eyes saying, every time Nick tells me he's going to show up for a show. And I was like, okay, well, if you show up for a show today, then I'll apologize to you. And guys, look, he's not here. So Nick, screw you and I told you so. Brandy, you're my witness, girl. You saw it.
I popped into the chat to watch it go down. I was like, oh, they're fighting again.
You know us, always going at it. But yeah, we'll see. He said that he's going to show up later, guys. So we'll see if he does. He wants to talk to some women of honor. So we'll see if Nick shows up towards the end of the show. But in the meantime, me and Brandy have a lot to get into, girl. You ready for this tea, Brandy? You ready to sip some tea?
I'm so ready. Let's do this.
All right, let's start off with Raw. Well, first off, Sasha Banks, the champion, the women's champion, opened up the show. She came out to a huge pop. It was kind of nice to finally get a woman superstar, a woman besides Stephanie McMahon opening up the show on mic. You know what I mean? It was breathtaking. And after such a hard-fought match that she had last week and reaching a huge milestone in her career, becoming a women's champion in WWE, which has been her longtime dream, for them to actually give her the mic and let her open up a Monday Night Raw, I gotta give props to WWE. Like, this is the type of respect that we've been waiting for years for the women. And Mick Foley wrote such a sweet article for Sasha Banks, congratulating her on her win and how much he's a big fan of hers. So, it was just great to see Sasha open up the show. How did you feel about that, Brandy?
I loved it because, for the longest time, it was this running gag where it would always be the Authority. It was always the Authority. Then it moved. It was always Seth or Roman or Dean. So it was so nice and refreshing to see a woman's segment open the show. I was really pleased with it. At first, I wasn't, Sasha came out there and it started with kind of a cut and dry face promo. And you're like, I'm not going to hate on it because this is wonderful. But I kind of missed her boss attitude a little bit. But at the same time, she just won this and kind of achieved her dreams. So you understand why she's a little misty-eyed kind of deal.
Yeah, and I felt like her getting choked up a bit because this is such a huge deal for her. And, once again, she's opening up Monday Night Raw. And she's just won the Women's Championship. Obviously, we love us that sassy Sasha Banks. Who doesn't?
Oh, yeah. I love it. And we got it afterwards, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely got it.
I was like, I think she started it off this way on purpose, A, because she wanted to kind of wax poetic, but it's because it was such a stark contrast to what happened next.
So we move on from Sasha's promo, and she gets interrupted by Charlotte. Just like me and Brandy are getting interrupted right now by these two bitches, Sam and Nick. What's up, bitches?
Playtime is over.
Hello.
What's up?
Not too much. I was at the gym with Mitchie, so sorry I'm a little late, everyone.
I was playing Pokemon Go. I have a legit excuse.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Sam, you know how you just did the Dana Brooke impression? Did you see that video of Sasha Banks doing it?
Yeah, the on the Facebook Live thing.
Yeah, that was hilarious. She did it really good.
Dana Brooke.
She did it really good. But I love Dana's accent. All right.
Yeah.
So, now that we got these two bitches on the show joining us, wow, 4 people. It's been a while since we had 4 people on TPP. And Nick, they've been asking for you. What was that, Sam?
It's been a while since I've had a foursome.
Oh, Lord.
Let's be real, it hasn't been a while.
So, Nick, the listeners have missed you.
Yes, I've missed the listeners. Thank you, everybody, for sending those little messages. It was so sweet. I've been busy with stuff, too, but wrestling has been on point, since the draft, so I don't think I've been on a show since the draft, so I'm really excited to kind of dive in everything. My boo is now the new women's champion, so the whole field has changed, and, I can't wait for everything to kind of lead up to SummerSlam, and so far SummerSlam has been, a lit show, so I'm excited.
Yeah, it's looking to be a good show. What about you, Sam? How do you feel about Sasha... Oh,
what was that, sorry? I couldn't hear you over Nick's rainfall.
How do you feel about Sasha Banks opening up Monday Night Raw? And they actually gave a mic to her.
I was ecstatic about it. I thought it was great. It's the last time, I can't think of the last time that the women sort of opened Raw.
Yeah.
The last time, but apart from, was it Battleground, when the women opened the event, really, the pay-per-view, with the whole Bayley surprise. But then before that, I've not seen a woman open the show in a long time, so I was really, really happy for it.
Especially with a microphone. We haven't seen it, besides Stephanie McMahon. And you know what? Before we get right back into Charlotte interrupting Sasha Banks, I'm glad that Stephanie McMahon took a back seat this Monday Night Raw. We didn't see much of her. I feel like previously they were heavily focused on Stephanie McMahon. And I don't give a fuck about the Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley storyline, if they're going to get along or if they're not going to get along. Because I really, honestly don't give a shit. They shouldn't even mention them. It should just be about the superstars like Cesaro complains about all the time.
See, that's what I like about SmackDown Live and the kind of direction that Daniel and Shane are going with it. They want, their focus is, they don't even want people to know that Daniel and Shane are part of the show. They want the emphasis on the superstars. So, I do agree. I love Stephanie. Don't get me wrong. She's a bad bitch. But, I do like to see her having a backseat, unless she gets involved somehow with a women's feud or, backstage segment with a woman. Other than that, I don't really care to see Stephanie take up, 5 segments of a 3-hour show, because I feel like that could be used elsewhere.
I'm glad that they've toned down the Stephanie McMahon aura in WWE. Well, Sasha...
I am too, because it makes, when you do see her, a little bit more special.
Exactly. And it's gonna bring more importance. When she comes on, you're like, oh, here's the authority. No pun intended. But they gotta cool her off a bit before somebody is really in big shit. Then when she pops up, you're like, ooh, damn, Stephanie's getting involved. We need that again.
Get that Linda McMahon kind of thing going on.
All right,
I fucking loved her song.
Let's not sing too much of it, Sam, before YouTube blocks us, okay?
Oh my god. Did that happen? Did you
copyright you?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was something with
Nia Jax's one, and it was blocked.
We just did the opening of it when she debuted. We're like, ah, shit.
It was like, and then it just went.
I think every time I had a copyright thing, it's because I've sang something or done something. I'm like, fuck!
It always circles around Mr. Sam Pelly, the singer of the group. But, alright, let's get into Sasha Banks and her promo. She gets interrupted by Charlotte. So Charlotte comes out looking like... You know who Charlotte's reminding me of? She's reminding me of the queen from Game of Thrones. I really feel like she's...
Cersei?
Yeah, I really feel like she's drawing from Cersei. Especially how her hair was done. I don't know, maybe some of you... Nick, Brandy, do you guys watch Game of Thrones?
No, girl.
Well, Cersei is this evil queen. She is, when I say evil, it don't get
evil,
any more
incestuous queen.
Yeah, and she fucks her brother because she likes it. That's one of her.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of her quotes. I fuck my brother because I like it. I love her, but she's evil. So that's the vibe I've been getting from Charlotte. So Charlotte comes out. She looks like a queen. Her hair is done right, and she comes out there. She's throwing shade, and then Sasha's like, "You know what? You look different." And she's like, "But I just can't put my finger on it." As she's pointing at the women's championship on her shoulder. I really like that, and that was a great opening to the shade that was about to roll in from the both of them. So and then they prolonged the back and forth a bit, and then Charlotte hit her with that great line. "Oh, you women winning the women's championship was just a one-night stand." She compared Sasha's win to a one-night stand. And Sasha with the comeback of the year.
I was fucking living for that. That was amazing.
Collectively, I think everyone was like, "Oh."
That was
like, yeah, it's my girl.
I was live tweeting at the time, and I was like, "Oh."
She hit her up with the, "You're comparing me to a one-night stand when you're the daughter of Ric Flair?" I was like, ooh. That was shade for days, and the crowd caught it, and Charlotte's reaction was amazing when Sasha said that, so it was really, really good. And then Sasha gets interrupted by Chris Jericho. So Jericho comes out, and I really loved the interaction with Jericho and the women, and I loved how he was siding with Charlotte. But before we get into that, I want to know you guys' thoughts on the shade between Charlotte and Sasha. I'll start with you, Brandy.
Oh my god, I loved it because I was like, is this PG? This is not PG, but it's innuendo, and that's awesome. Because I mean, everybody's grandmama or mama has a story about one time Ric Flair was in their town, and they had some drinks, and they took a ride on Space Mountain.
Not my grandmother.
Everyone has that story.
Not my grandmother. My grandmother would never.
Well, here in the South, a lot of people have that story.
I don't know what kind of grandmas you have down in the South.
I know.
We got some grannies.
got some thoughty grannies.
We got a lot of illegitimate Flairs running around.
You got some Gigi grandmas down there.
Like that's crazy because when Sasha said that, I was like, oh, that's so true because literally in the South that is something. I guess because this was the territory maybe that Rick toured in a lot, but seriously, everyone down here, like if you talk about wrestling, especially in the 90s or like 2000s, they're like, oh yeah, like my grandma or my mom, they totally hooked up with Ric Flair.
Ric Flair was a playboy. How did you feel about that comment, Nick?
I loved it. I mean, you know me, like I love Sasha, and I'm so happy that she's finally in the limelight now. And it's good that it was a slow build towards it, and then the actual shocking surprise when she did win the title before SummerSlam. So I feel like that's appropriate. And now there's kind of more personal vendetta with Charlotte coming in now, like going up against Sasha. I really like the involvement with Chris, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. But like the shade off between both of them, I always loved their interactions down in NXT, and then when they started to come out to the main roster. So I was expecting something like really good, but the beginning of the Sasha's promo, I will say it felt a little dry to me.
We talked about that.
Okay, yeah.
Because I want to hear
it definitely picked up.
Go on, because me and Brandy talked about it, but we kind of like boxed it in as, you know, she's emotional. She's opening up Raw. She just won she fulfilled the dream. So I think the nerves got to her a bit. So I'm not really going to like dig into her.
Right. I'm not going to shade the girl because it's like she picked up the whole segment towards the end afterwards. But I think it was just kind of like a nervous thing. She's a new champion. She's opening a show. One of the first women aside from Stephanie, like you mentioned, to do that. So I thought it was... I was like, oh, come on, girl, like, you're kind of skipping over your words a bit, but then once Charlotte came out, that's when it really picked up, so, and I just love the interactions, like I mentioned, between them, like, you can really feel the hatred between their characters, which I love, so.
Well, it's true, like you said last week, Brandy. Sam, what was your thoughts on the shade?
I only saw the YouTube highlights, so I didn't really see it all,
Girl,
but I liked it.
You gotta watch the whole segment.
I've been so busy.
Classic. This is a classic segment. You gotta watch it. It's
well, from what I've seen from the YouTube highlights, I was like really impressed by it. So I will watch the full set.
Quiet. Jericho comes out with that fucking quiet bullshit, which I love. He is such an asshole, and I love it. I love every minute of Chris Jericho.
Jericho's my favorite heel.
He is mine. He's always been my favorite heel.
Well, aside from Owens, those are the two that I really
gotta
like.
give it to Jericho. Jericho's my favorite heel. Nobody does it better than Chris Jericho. I don't care. It's really I love Owens. Kevin Owens is one of my favorite wrestlers. But when it comes to my favorite characters on TV, Jericho and probably The Miz is one of my favorites. Because Miz is just as much of a prick than Jericho.
Oh, he's so obnoxious now with Maurice as well. So
I can't wait to talk about those two after.
Yeah, I'll still get into that. But yeah, continue on.
But he comes up and he's sucking up to Charlotte. We're not going to really digest the whole thing for you guys because we know listeners, you guys all watch this, so we're just going to hit the highlights. But, he was just massaging Charlotte, making it seem like Charlotte's the tough bitch and all this. So I found it weird. I was like, this is a little odd pairing that Jericho's out here right now with Charlotte. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, Jericho likes to kiss his ass to people that he feels like he can get things out of. He does it with Stephanie McMahon, how he talks about how Stephanie's the greatest GM in the world and blah, 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 blah. And him and Stephanie have so much history. And I can't wait for WWE to tap into that a little bit more. But, Jericho gets interrupted by Enzo Amore, who comes out, and Enzo Amore is becoming super over on the main roster. I feel like he's one of the guys that came over from NXT and just shot straight to the top quickly with the fans.
Hands down. And you know what? Honestly, when he did get started to cut off, but when he got his injury, when he had that concussion for a little bit, when he came back, I feel like that actually really made him even more over, if that's possible, when he returned, because people loved him so much, and then they had that quick little burnout, and then he came right back, and so they've been pushing him to the moon. So I found it really interesting to see him by himself without Cass. I didn't really see him to come out for Sasha's aid. I didn't really
injured?
No, he's not.
Oh.
It was just they've been on NXT together, they're friends. I think that it was a good spot for Enzo Amore to come in and team up with Sasha because, he's fun and he's outgoing. So for him to pair up with somebody like Sasha Banks, who's just as sassy and the crowd loves them, to be paired up against two heels that the crowds absolutely hate, Chris Jericho and Charlotte, I think it was perfect booking, honestly. And
yeah, I'm not disagreeing with it. I think it was a great choice for Enzo, but I actually just was kind of surprised. I didn't actually see him coming out because he is in the tag team with Big Cass, so.
I loved it. I looked into the ring and I was like, look at all these smack talkers in the ring.
Yeah.
This is going to be the best. But while the music was still playing and no one had said anything, I was like, this is about to be so good.
And it was good. They delivered. Enzo came out. He flirted with Sasha. How you doing? And how you doing? How you doing? I love that little back and forth. And then he kissed Sasha's hand. They had a little cute moment. And then Jericho interrupts again. Enzo started shading Jericho. I don't really remember everything, but it was really, really good what Enzo was saying to him. Enzo's very clever with his words. So, and then it set it up. This all set up for a mixed tag match. We have not seen a mixed tag match.
Wait. No, you have to talk about, out of all of the shade that was going between them, I felt like Charlotte got the upper hand.
Go ahead. I don't remember.
With the soft thing. She was telling...
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny if you didn't notice the subtle... there was the,
how
you doing, going between those two. And Charlotte went to say something, and Jericho stopped her no. Let's see what happens here. And then when Charlotte actually did, she was like, no, I say go for it, because rumor is, and insinuated that Enzo's game is a little soft.
That was some good shade from my girls.
That was. I was just,
Charlotte.
Guys, I don't know. I was knocking shit off the desk. I was like, I cannot believe we're getting this on Monday Night Raw.
I know. Basically, she said that he couldn't get it up. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, Charlotte was not playing any games.
Yeah, Enzo sneaks. Enzo and the New Day sneaks so much sexual innuendo into their promos,
God.
I was happy that a girl finally did it. I was like, you do it, Charlotte.
Like the banana and oranges from New Day. Oh, I couldn't deal with them.
Like the what?
They pulled a fruit out of a bag or whatever. Whoever got the odd fruit was going to be excluded from the match, and Xavier pulled out a banana, and the other two guys pulled out a pear or something. So and then
two oranges.
So and then they put it together, and it looked like a penis, and they were like, "Oh no!" It was just crazy.
They were slowly putting the banana in with the two oranges. Oh no, that's too far.
I think it's brilliant that they've learned how to work innuendo, and that's humorous for adults, and it goes right over the children's head.
It's like the writers, because WWE hired a new writing staff, and they brought up some people from NXT, and WWE is starting to show. So kudos, because I'm actually laughing, and it's not corny. Okay?
Yes.
Let's get that out of the way. So, we had that little exchange was set up for a mixed tag match. And we haven't seen a mixed tag match in a while. I think the last one we saw involved...
Brandy was just talking about that a few days ago, though,
about
in
mixed
the group
tag?
chat, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and James talked about it on the last show that I want intergender matches more. And then Monday I was like,
they listen to our show, those bastards.
It's like they are listening to us. Where's our checks?
I know. Well, it's all about that chingle chingle, baby. That's Nick's little thing.
Get that chickle, baby.
I love
I
how
always
you say
see
it.
Nick doing that in like he did in the behind the scenes
Yeah,
video
me
with
too.
his hands.
With the hands.
I always do.
I always do it with the hands too, Nick, because how you did it.
That's so funny. We were talking earlier before you guys joined about like catchphrases, like how James is "Get it together."
Get it together.
Get it all the way together. All right. So
or have several seats.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I fucking love it. Everyone's like got their own. Like Tom's is spoiler.
Oh
yeah.
Tom, everything
Tom is.
a big
I didn't do that.
I remember when I was just a listener. I remember hearing Nick say, "Settle your tea kettle," and I lost my shit.
Oh yes.
That's what Nick's other one.
I use that all the time, and people in my class and like around here, they're like, "What the fuck?" They've never heard it before. I'm like, "Listen, settle your tea kettle."
Like people don't know what a tea kettle is. It's crazy. But
It's a British thing.
So, the match starts off. We haven't had a mixed tag match in a while since, I believe, Naomi and Alicia Fox were involved with the Usos and two other guys that teamed up with Fox.
Oh, girl, we must have had another one before that.
It was on the other show that you were talking about that match because the partners was Miz and Mizdow. I wanted to tell you that.
Oh, yeah, with Foxy. Yeah, that was
I had
the
a
last.
gift of that.
That was the last mixed tag match.
That's been a hot minute.
It's been a while because Naomi was with the Usos. It was like 2 years ago. Easy. Because it was before WrestleMania. I remember that. But anyways, we get that mixed tag match, and you know what? I fucking loved that match. It was amazing. I love to watch the women interact with the men. Like, that slap that Sasha gave Chris Jericho was one of the highlights for me. It was amazing.
Because she knocked it down?
Yeah, yo, I was like, damn. And you know what? And I know, this is why I love this match so much. I'll let you guys get into it and talk about your favorite points. We don't really have to cover the whole match. But one of my favorite points was when Sasha smacked Jericho, and then while I was watching the interaction between Sasha and Charlotte, and Jericho and Enzo, it was pretty cool. And while I was watching this match, I was like, I'm so happy for Sasha Banks and Charlotte. This is a great moment for them. It reminded me of the old Christian and Edge with Lita and Trish. I was getting that vibe. And I was just like, yo, these girls are making history right now. And I'm watching it. They're in the ring with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is one of the icons in this business. And these two got to get in a match with Chris Jericho involved and Enzo Amore. So I think it's going to be something special that they'll always talk about. So I feel like it was great. What about you, Sam?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, Lord, girl. You missed it.
I've done SmackDown and NXT this week. That's all I've had.
All right, well,
that's all right.
Nick, what about you? How do you feel?
I love the match. I love mixed tag matches, like Brandy was saying the other week. And to be honest, I'm a really big fan of intergender matches as well. Like when the women get the beatings from the men. Like it sounds kind of barbaric, but in my point of view, it makes the women look tougher from a wrestling standpoint. Like they can take a beating and still get up, and then when they get the action back, when they can attack the superstar, the male superstar afterwards, it kind of like they become kind of more the ultimate underdog view. So I always really enjoyed that about back in the day in the Attitude Era. But I was really excited to see them work with Jericho. If I was a wrestler, I would love to work with Jericho. He's probably hands down one of the best workers in the ring, talent, hands down, like all over. So I feel like he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame here shortly. Like if not, maybe like 3 years. But yeah, aside from that, my favorite spot was the double suicide dive by Enzo and Sasha. And the thing is with Sasha, I just want to say, like, I like how she's incorporating the suicide dive, but I want her to keep that special because she's been using that in like every single match. And it's like, girl, keep that for the special events because it's not as exciting. And this girl keeps like almost landing on her neck, so it's like I'm a little nervous.
Wait, she only used it she used it at WrestleMania, and then she used it for a women's title match, and then she used it in the tag. I don't think she's used it that many times.
I've seen her use it quite a few times, to be fair. I can't think of.
I think it's because you've seen it too many times closely.
Maybe.
I have to agree on that because other news sites have even been reporting about how other podcasts have even been talking about like Sasha needs to cool off on this suicide dive.
I know, like, and she's doing it on one person. I'm gonna need her to do it like on multiple women so she can land safely because, girl, we cannot afford an injury from Sasha Banks right now.
Girl, I don't want her to pull a Lita. Like that looked like when she was in the women's championship match. I was like, oh no, my girl. Like it's so scary for those spots. I love suicide dives. I think they're really impactful and like good spots for matches. But like her first one that she ever did on Charlotte back in Takeover back in the day, like I was like, yes, like you didn't see it that often with the women. So I guess maybe you're right, James. Maybe I've just seen it so frequently, like on top of each other. So I'd like to kind of maybe see it a little less and just maybe more safer for her too.
Yeah, I think she needs to tone down on it. But Brandy, what were your highlights of the match?
The double suicide that's one of those moments that is great to use because it's a match you're not going to see all the time. To see those two do it together, it's really special. I love the interaction. Tom had made the comment that he didn't think that Sasha should have taken the pin in this match. I enjoyed Sasha taking the pin because. Oh, did I lose you guys?
No, we're still here. Sam, he'll come back.
Oh, Sam, okay. I enjoyed Sasha taking the pin because it makes a level battleground for those two going into SummerSlam because it shows that, hey, if Charlotte hits you with this, you're done. You're going to get pinned kind of deal. So I feel like we're going to see her hit that at SummerSlam and Sasha's going to kick out of it. And because that happened like it did on Raw and how it's happened in the past, it's going to be a big deal for her to kick out of that move.
See, I
definitely agree. Oh, sorry, James. I was just going to say I definitely agree with that, Brandy, because I've been noticing Charlotte's using the natural selection more frequently, and it's been like put over as an impactful finisher. Like,
hello.
Oh, you called us on a new phone.
Oh,
damn.
Did we all get disconnected?
No.
No.
Hold on.
Just me.
Brandy?
Yes. Skype. Why Skype?
Oh, because Sam made a different call. Hold on. Sorry, listeners. We'll get it together. Because I'm not looking for this to edit it. Sorry, guys.
We're like, no. Well,
I'm just editing the beginning.
I will say while we're trying to get Sam back in.
Nick?
Hello.
All right, we're all here.
While we're trying to get Sam back in, I do want to touch on Jericho a minute. I recently wrote up about Mick and him praising Sasha. And in the article, I mentioned that Chris Jericho has been one of the main proponents of people celebrating the women's wrestling and trying to get them more attention. And I love that. I love that his...
Sorry, guys. We just got to reset the whole call because Sam is doing shows with his Skype. Let's see.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
All right, we're all here, but we don't got Nick. Nick was unable to join this call.
Oh my god.
Did everyone get kicked out? Or was it just me?
Yeah. You know, I rarely get kicked out. Nick kicked me out because I have because my stuff at home is considered a home office. I have super awesome business grade internet. So I was shocked to get kicked.
I don't know what's going on. But Brandy, go on.
And well, with Jericho, he's spoken out so much about women's wrestling. He's had so many women's wrestlers on his show, and he's actually quite knowledgeable about women's wrestling. You know, he was one of the few guys who really put. Well, I mean, there were several guys, but he was one of the first guys to really put Chyna over back in the day, kind of deal. That's who she won her Intercontinental title off of, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she won it off of
Jeff Jarrett, wasn't it?
Was it
Yeah,
Jeff
it was
Jarrett?
Jeff
I can't
Jarrett.
remember.
They had the match when it was like was it a good housekeeping match at No Mercy 99?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I guess
that was the first pay-per-view that I ever watched.
Yeah. I guess I just assumed it was Jericho because there was a feud with Jericho and the IC title in China. I remember that.
Yeah, they had a feud for the belt.
Yeah. But so Jericho has never been afraid to work with the women, and I love that. And I love to see all these years later, when he was doing it back in the day, during the down time for women's wrestling, he was shouting it out and supporting it on his show, and now here he is having these awesome moments in history with the women. I think that's awesome.
I agree.
Yeah, it's cool.
Damn, I forgot what I was going to say earlier about Charlotte and Sasha. I just got so thrown off with the Skype acting up.
Listeners, help us out here. Is there any platform besides Skype?
No, everything else is garbage. Garbage.
I will say...
Because there's Facebook group call as well, isn't there?
There is Facebook group call. I know that Slack, which I don't know if you pay for Slack or not. I'll look into that. But I know that Slack has group calls as well on Slack.com, which is how a lot of businesses, like, when they're home-based kind of deal, how they chat with each other. I don't know.
Madness. We need to work out like the best way to go about it, I think. Because whenever we have like more people, and that's why like I was like, "Are you sure I'm okay to jump in?" Feel bad.
No,
And Nick's like
it's-
locked
feel
out.
bad.
We were just fine. It's something with Nick's. It keeps giving me an error with Nick, and Nick has had this error before, so he just needs to reset and figure it out on his end. Because it's him.
Get his shit together.
Let me channel Gigi a minute and be like, it's that Canadian internet.
Alright, but I guess we're going to move on.
Satellite's not hitting off the moose antlers.
It's like she's right here.
Damn, I really wanted to make a point, and now I forgot it. Damn. Oh my god, I almost want to pause and go back and see what I was saying. Oh, I think Nick's back. Let's see. I'm so pissed. I'm sorry, listeners. We're about to get it going again in a second. Yeah, he has an error going on. I don't know. We might have lost Nick for the show, guys.
We're sorry, we had him for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Just giving you a taste.
You got Samuel. Sam Pelly the brand.
We
Well,
kept the brand.
let's move on to the next woman segment. We had a great little promo. They were like, I love before Nia Jax comes out, they give us a little promo of Nia Jax to show us what she's all about, and they talk about how powerful she is and how she's just destroying Monday Night Raw. I really love how Michael Cole puts over Nia Jax because he never talks about women the way that he's talking about Nia Jax these days, and I'm just like, finally, like thank you to the wrestling gods that they finally got this together, Triple H. But
Thank you to
anyways,
Corey Graves for getting it together on the main roster.
I'm so glad that you mentioned
Yeah.
Corey Graves because he is my favorite announcer. Him and Marlo.
Me too.
Oh my god, I love Corey Graves. How could we ever put him in the river? It never happened, guys. He was never.
Did he make about? I can't remember why he was in there in the first place.
Because he said some comment about the main roster women, about how the NXT women actually work for their shit. And I'm like, well, the women on the main roster are never granted. I feel like we jumped the gun and threw him in there. Honestly.
True.
Because we were just
But
young and ratchet.
to be fair, that was before he had this body of work. This is before he had been such a...
It was when he's just started, yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's like that was one of your first things that you came out the gate with when it came to women was bashing women. So do not be surprised when you are floating down the river with all our other illustrious participants.
all our inductees into the TPP river. We haven't had a new one in there. They've all been on their best behavior.
That's right. They don't want to
They're all
get...
trying.
I know. We'll see who's going to break the mold. But speaking of breaking the mold, Nia Jax comes out with her impactful entrance, which I freaking love. I love how they're just her entrance, the way that they're shooting it now is so different because they film the Titantron first and then it zooms into her eyes. So I like that aspect. I've noticed that when they come to Monday Night Raw, the production team on Monday Night Raw kind of perfects the entrances. So I can't wait until they really nail Finn Balor's entrance. But it feels like they're on the money with Nia Jax, especially with the new cinematography and the overhead crane camera that they use during the matches and how they use the runaway camera as they run along the aprons. I really love that. It really makes the matches look dramatic. So I just wanted to mention that. But Nia Jax's entrance is shot so beautifully. I love how they follow her down the ramp. They really capture how massive this woman is. So she gets into the ring and she has another enhancement talent woman in the ring, which I am over the moon for. I'm glad that
Ariel something her name was, wasn't it?
yeah, she had like crazy red hair or whatever, and she put up a bit of a fight, but it wasn't much because Nia Jax was just all over that one. Nia Jax gave her a good old beating, and she debuted a new finisher, which is like an overhead power slam. I really love it. Really showcased her power, and Nia Jax.
That was good, but you know what really pissed me off?
What?
Like, she was already on the floor and then stood up to stand on it, and I was like, oh, what is the point? You're already down there.
No, that's just domination, just to be like, whatever, I'll pin her stepping on her. I don't need to cover her. I
didn't
like that.
it.
Because initially,
Personally, it wasn't. I
you
liked
didn't
the
like how
idea
it
of the
looked.
pin, but if she hadn't have landed on the floor with her,
you don't like the execution.
Yeah.
You didn't like how she... I'm okay with how she pinned her. It didn't bother me. Oh, you know what? Before we get over there, what I will tell you what bothered me is after the segment with the tag match, this is what I wanted to talk about. See? I knew it was important. So when Dana Brooks came out in the tag match, and she got involved, and then Charlotte got the pin after the natural selection, because you guys were talking about the natural selection. She got involved, and then the match got big cast came out, whatever. Everybody separated. The referee grabbed the women's championship belt, and he ran it over to Charlotte, and I was like, "What is he doing? She's not the champion." And then Dana Brooke is like, "That's not ours. That's not ours." And then he turns around and he runs it back to Sasha, and Sasha's like, "What are you doing? Give me my belt." And I like that Sasha said that to him. But man, Charlotte should have took that fucking belt and waved it over her head and said, "That's right, I'm the champion. I'm the champion." You know what I mean? And then
they did a
That's the
.com
Purple
exclusive,
Alliance
didn't they?
team.
Huh?
They had a .com exclusive, like, with Charlotte, Dana, and that ref talking, and she was like, "Even this ref thinks I'm the champion, and he's not even Charles."
That
See?
would have been great if she had done that. Like, that would have been, but because it's live TV,
she's
I don't understand. They were just like, "Shit,
No,
what is this?"
But Charlotte didn't say anything. She just looked like, "Oh, no." She just ignored it, but Dana was like, "That's not ours. That's not ours."
That's what I mean. They did it on YouTube. It's like a video exclusive thing.
See, then WWE probably came and played with it. But I feel like if this is where the experience comes in, because Charlotte has not, as good as Charlotte is, and everybody, she's on that level. That's my fucking girl. As good as she is, she hasn't been doing this long. Somebody with experience would have took that belt and be like, "That's right, I'm the champion." You know what I mean? Because you're in the mold. Like, if that was somebody like a Seth Rollins, if the ref did that to Seth Rollins, you bet your ass Seth Rollins would have took that fucking belt and waved it over his head and be like, "That's right, I'm the champion." Ha ha ha. It's such a heelish, cowardice move. And then Sasha just sitting there after taking the beat down, just watching her hold her belt over her head, and they're having the match for the women's title. Like, that's just my thing. I was just like, "Oh man, if Charlotte would have just took it, it would have been perfect." But whatever.
Where was Jericho during this? Because
he was right in the middle. He was right between them.
I'm shocked he didn't reach out and grab it. Well, so you can really forget.
Because Jericho was selling. He was selling, so. He was holding the back. The women were helping him up or whatever, and they were all celebrating. Okay. I don't think he caught it. He didn't really catch what was going on because he was too busy with Enzo. And
if he had seen it, he would have definitely grabbed it and
put it on Charlotte.
Put it around her waist like, "This is the real champion."
The only one that I see that caught it was Dana Brooke. Dana was the one that was just like, "That's not ours. That's not ours."
All you Dana haters and shaders.
Couple haters.
Got ourselves a couple of haters.
But it was great. I just wanted to mention that because I thought it really stuck out to me. So that was the only thing that bothered me, Sam, more than the Nia Jax pinfall. But I'll go to you, Brandy. How do you feel about Nia Jax mollywopping that girl before we get into our post interview?
I love it, but people on the internet have. Know I'm not a fan of people on the internet. They've been bitching "I'm sorry, it's just not impressive for me to see her squash an unknown every week." And I'm like, could you just let them tell the damn story? Because the rumor was that she's going to squash some people some more, and then she's going to run up on her first main roster woman. And the rumor, let me make sure I point out that it's a rumor, that I didn't make this up. The rumor was that it would be Paige. And I was just here for that feud.
Paige is the perfect candidate for that.
What?
To face off with Nia Jax first, and for Nia Jax to get a legitimate good match out of her and actually win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone.
Do you think it will be Paige? I was thinking it's going to be Alicia or someone.
No.
See, everyone thinks it's going to be Alicia. Everyone thinks it's going to be Summer. Everyone's just going to expect those two to get squashed.
Because everybody's so stuck with the old school booking. That's the thing.
So if she goes up against Paige, it's literally going to be a contest where you're like, it could go either way. I have no idea who they're going to book to go over at this point.
I think it's going to be Nia, obviously, because Paige. I think Paige should do the job for Nia, but I feel like Paige is going to give her a good fight, as they should. They should let Paige get her chops in. But I think Nia, it's definitely going to go over, because I think Nia is going to be the next contender for the Women's Championship after Charlotte and Sasha's feud is over. I think that's what
feel like a program between Nia and Paige could go a series of matches kind of deal.
I agree. As Charlotte,
Paige has got a mean streak. Her character's got a mean streak, so she could fuck with Nia backstage like nobody's fucked with Nia before.
And it's going to be very impressive for the first woman on the main roster for Nia to really put in their place a 2-time former Divas champion. So
yes,
to set her up for somebody like Sasha Banks, she got to go through Paige. So that's just how I feel, and it's a great spot for Paige, and I think Paige would be happy to be implemented back in the women's division. Like, come on, it's something to do. And I think she'd be okay to lose to Nia Jax. Like, look at Nia Jax, she's legit. Well, anyways, Nia Jax gets a post-interview, and they come in, they ask her a question. I think it was, what's his name? Was it, what's his
Byron
name?
Saxton came
Was
in.
it Byron? Was it him?
Yeah.
Alright, whatever. I don't really like Byron, but alright, whatever. He comes out to interview Nia. Nia just runs off from the mic.
I think he's really boring.
He is boring, and I don't think he's needed, but I digress. Nia just runs up and just clobs the girl again and sends a message to the rest of the women's locker room. So I really, really like that instead of just talking, she just showed us what she's capable of, which is beating people down. And I'm okay with any handsome talents taking the beating. I don't understand what's this whole facade of people wanting Summer Rae to come out and get dragged around and Alicia Fox to come out and get dragged around. Absolutely not. That's something we don't want. They've done it for too long. Why do we want it to continue? Absolutely not. I don't understand. But anybody got any other comments about Nia Jax?
I don't have a comment about Nia Jax, but I have a comment about Summer Rae.
Go ahead.
People need to understand that Summer Rae gets booked poorly, and she gets booked to lose. And they base it off the fact that you look at Summer Rae and you see a tall, slender, blonde-haired girl. But Summer Rae used to play that freaking lingerie football, and if you ever watch any of her stuff back, she used to cream the shit out of women. So don't just base off of her looks and be like, oh, she's just going to go get squashed by everyone. She's had some really good matches. She's been doing her due diligence on things like Main Event and Superstars. And she does not, her nor Alicia deserve to be squashed. Like, if they have a feud with Nia Jax, it deserves to have a build-up. It deserves to have a purpose. It does not deserve to be just a stepping stone. Because, there's only, 7 women on each roster at this point? So why hurt 2 of your women straight off the bat? Like,
Exactly.
let them use enhancement talent and let them
That's
do the
what
damn
they're
thing.
there for. They're there to get squashed. So, and to make the superstar look great. NXT does it, and you don't hear people complain about NXT because every time a takeover rolls over, we're all ripping our wigs off our heads and throwing it on the floor because it's laid. So let's not do it.
Also, I wanted to mention, since we're bringing up Summer Rae, Summer Rae has a really great article written about her. You can go read it at glamourmag.com, I believe it is.
Oh, yeah, I saw the promotion for it.
Yeah, it's actually a really entertaining article. So,
all right, so we can move on from the women on Monday Night Raw. And let's talk quickly about Finn and Seth. They had a great exchange, and it really got me really hyped for this match. I'm really excited for this match. Seth Rollins is such a fucking prick on that mic, and I fucking love it. He shows no fear of Finn Balor, and Finn Balor shows no fear at all. Finn Balor's over there talking shit. He has a lot of confidence. So my question to you guys about this whole feud that's setting up for the Universe Championship of the World, whatever. Like, I really don't like that name. But anyways, do you think we're going to see the Demon at SummerSlam, or are we going to catch a Finn Balor? I think we're going to see Finn Balor, not the Demon. What about you, Brandy?
I do not want to see the Demon for a long time on the main roster.
But it's SummerSlam.
I know, but I don't want to see it until, like, WrestleMania. I want a really big build to it because we've seen it in NXT. Now, we didn't see it all the time in NXT. We only saw it at Takeovers, but this is our first outing and with Finn, and I don't want him to pull the cord too soon.
So, here's my thing. What about you, Sam, before I say my thing? How do you feel, Sam?
I don't really know. I'd like him to do it, but if he didn't, I wouldn't be pissed.
All right, so I don't think he's going to do it. So that means he's losing. He's not going to win. And I think he's going to come back, and then because the next pay-per-view is SmackDown's pay-per-view. I think the pay-per-view after that, I don't know which pay-per-view is after Backlash, or whatever the hell they're calling that pay-per-view, or whichever
Is
pay-per-view.
it like No Mercy?
Whatever it is, maybe.
Oh no, it's Clash of the Champions.
I think that's when the
It's
Demon...
like a Raw exclusive.
I think that's when he's going to resort to the Demon or come back after Seth Rollins for the championship. I think it's going to be a whole build-up about Seth don't know what's coming for him, the Demon is brewing again, or whatever. So that's how I feel.
We're going to get, like, a long build with that, and also, we always are like, well, it's SummerSlam, it's WrestleMania. Okay, we'll save some of this good stuff for the pay-per-views in between, kind of deal, like...
Yeah, you could see a Demon debut at a regular schmegula pay-per-view, but I would prefer
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
The Demon coming in on like Clash of Champions would elevate that pay-per-view. Plus, it's the first pay-per-view. Like, because as of right now, SummerSlam is so stacked as it is. It doesn't.
They don't need the Demon.
That push.
Yeah, but it would be nice to see. But let's move on to another match that's setting up for SummerSlam. We had Paul Heyman out there slaying my ears for days. He threw so much shade at Randy Orton, and it all caught. Randy Orton was just walking around with an umbrella and a cloud over his head. There was no sunshine. It was just shade. He was talking about, his theme song. I hear voices in my head. Are those voices telling you that you're going to get your ass beat? I was like, yes, Paul Heyman. Read him for days. And Paul Heyman was like, you will never RKO my client. Never RKO him. Never. And then, boom, RKO out of nowhere. Clever. Randy Orton runs out of the ring. He knocks down the beast. Nobody's seen it coming. But do we think that they pulled the gun a little prematurely with the cross-promotion feuding and da-da-da-da? How do you feel about that with Randy Orton crossing over so quickly on Monday Night Raw after they just split up the brands, Brandy?
Well, I think that it's similar to how, like, the last pay-per-view. It's just the finishing up of the final business. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Brock Lesnar, yeah, he's on Raw. And Randy's on SmackDown, but when that match was set, there wasn't any drafting done or anything like that. So I think it's still okay. I wouldn't suggest it for the pay-per-views after SummerSlam, like Backlash or anything like that.
What about you,
Sam? They may go that way and have like one pay-per-view, like each pay-per-view have one dueling brand clash up. I hope not, but they may.
How do you feel about this?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, I thought it was good that like the brand split still happened, but like these two big names, they're better than the brand split. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, I'm going to come to your it's like I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to embarrass you.
I feel like it was a bit premature. I feel like this is something that we should have anticipated.
It would make no sense though if they went straight into SummerSlam without anything happening.
No, I agree.
I don't think it's like premature or anything. I think it's right.
Yeah, no. I think you're right, Tim, because it does protect the main event or that event a lot by not having them on the same show.
Because otherwise it would just be like, oh, well, here's a build-up for Lesnar, here's a build-up for Orton, and here's the fight. Whereas now it's kind of, you get an interaction between the pair of them.
This is why I think they fucked up with this whole thing. This is why I don't think it's a good idea for the cross-promotion so early. Because, we just had the brand. I feel like Brock Lesnar, after SummerSlam, we're not going to see him. So why the hell was he drafted? He should have been a legit free agent. He could either go to SmackDown or he can go to Raw. Because after SummerSlam, we're not going to see him on Monday Night Raw as a regular. We're going to see Randy Orton on SmackDown as a regular. So I feel like Brock Lesnar should have never got drafted to begin with, where he can go on multiple shows. So I feel like that's where they fucked up earlier. And then they had to pull the premature shotgun and have the crossovers with them going to each other's brands. That's my only thing, because I feel like it's just a missed opportunity, and it's something I was looking forward to see that fucking, when somebody doesn't belong there, trespassing with the security and all of that. That's just my own little thing, but that's just how I felt for it.
I think Lesnar's going to be around for a while, especially with him now making the cover of the game. I think he's going to be like at least.
No, he doesn't want to, Sam. That's not in his contract. He doesn't want to travel. That's his only reason why he left WWE to begin with. He hates the schedule. He hates the traveling.
He doesn't have to be on every week, though. Do you know what I mean?
He's going to be on the same late schedule, and WWE ain't going to pay him all that money. Because Brock Lesnar is expensive. So WWE, they have select dates for him. Well, no, but he signed that contract already.
Now, isn't he? So
he signed that contract a couple of years ago. When was it? 2 years ago he signed the contract. And I think he has one more year to fulfill. And WWE has already picked out his dates. It's all picked out already.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar and his part-time status, were you guys aware that the drug testing is different for part-time status employees than it is for the full-time wrestlers?
And WWE didn't even test him. That was UFC, the one who tested him, that he tested positive.
But no, but the WWE doesn't. If you're part-time, they don't test you regularly. Like if you're not active. So all these times we don't see Brock for months. All the other wrestlers, maybe we're not seeing them for months because they're just using them on live shows. They're still getting tested, but Brock Lesnar and people of that nature are not, because they're not in a WWE ring. So I just think that makes it interesting to know that, and
it's
all this stuff that's going on with UFC.
I think it comes down to money, like cost of money, because it costs money to drug test. That thing is not free. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I just think it adds a little bit more spice, a little more drama to
And
the
a lot of
story
people, are a bit upset with that whole Brock Lesnar druggish situation. I feel like WWE has been very tight-lipped about it, and clearly they're still going and pushing forward because Brock Lesnar is the money ticket for SummerSlam. So I really can't really comment on it because I really don't know what exactly is going on with the situation. I feel like after SummerSlam, more light will shed on the situation. But let's move on to Smackdown, which was really good. And then I got to read a couple of fans because they are over the moon and over the top, and they just need to get it together. So we start off with Smackdown. Let's get into Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes out. The fans go crazy. I really like how the fans pop for Becky Lynch. She's such a good baby face. And then all of a sudden the lights go dim. And the room turns red. Eva Marie comes out, and she did what you said, Brandy, how you saw her on a live show. She made an entrance while the guy was speaking. I love this so much more. It was so much better.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah. So Eva Marie comes out. She does a little stride. She goes on the top rope. She spreads her arms, and then she jumps down, and then she does a little kink. And I noticed it. I was like, oh. Did she land wrong? I was like, don't tell me this girl got hurt jumping off the second turnbuckle. At first, I believed it. I was like, did she? And then she's walking around, and then I saw her playing around with her knee. I was like, all right, this is a work. It's a work. She's rubbing her thigh. At first, she was touching her knee, and then she started rubbing her thigh. I was like, all right, it's a work. So Eva's just looking down, pointing at her knee. Becky's like, what's going on? The referee comes over. He checks on Eva Marie. Eva Marie is just like, I can't. My leg. And then he calls for a trainer. Trainer comes over. Eva Marie saying that she can't compete. So he goes over. He tells the announcer that she can't compete, that this match has to be over with, and da-da-da. So Eva Marie just walks off, and Becky Lynch is just standing there looking confused, like, what the hell is going on? Really, bitch? So I am so fucking happy that WWE is pushing Eva Marie in this direction. This is the direction that Eva Marie needs to go on. They all complain she can't wrestle. They all complain she can't act. Well, bitch, now she's using her acting skills and she's not wrestling. So she's doing exactly what everybody hates. And it's just going to generate legit heat. And that's what Eva Marie needs. Legit heat. For fans to hate her for a reason. Not just hate her to hate her. So this is great for her character. It's brilliant. And it's something I wanted. And it's something I was so curious to see. How are they going to book Eva Marie? How are they going to build her character? And that's what we got. And then, before I go and ask you guys for your opinions, we had the social media go crazy. What the fuck was that? Blah, blah, blah. All we had was entrances. Da, da, da. It's it's character development. Eva Marie needed this development. We needed to see which direction Eva Marie was going in. And I'm glad that this is the direction that she's going in. And she walked off a match. Come on. Becky Lynch competed against Sasha Banks and Charlotte at WrestleMania 31 in front of over 100,000 people for a women's championship match and was whooping ass, and Becky Lynch can fucking go. You really think Eva Marie can hold a candle to Becky Lynch? No, and I'm glad that Eva Marie's character knows better. She's a smart character, and she's like, I'm going to use her with the mind games. I love the storytelling, and I'm here for it, so I don't understand why fans are complaining. But Sam, what are your opinions?
I loved it. I think I've become, since the return in NXT, I think I'm an Eva Marie fan.
Yeah.
Especially because,
I said, oh no, it just sneaks up on you like that.
It does, and because I play the game a lot as well. She's really good in the game.
Girl, those generic movesets, I'm over it.
What?
Her generic ass movesets in the game.
I know, but it's kind of good. I quite liked it, and now she's got her own pop figure out as well, and I really want that.
Yeah, it's cute.
I don't want to become Tom, but I'm a little bit of an Eva Marie fan.
What about you, Brandy? How did you feel about it?
I thought it was brilliant. Do you know what it made me think of? It made me think of when Stephanie McMahon had the women's title. Mm-hmm. And every week you wanted to see her defend it, every match, and just that anger that you felt like she walks around here like she's the women's champion, but she hasn't done anything for it. And I love that from Eva Marie. I hope she does more.
Yes.
And some of these fans, they're talking about how Eva Marie is such a bad actress. Some of these fans were legit. There were wrestling news sources speculating whether it was a real injury or not. They were like, we thought it was a work, but it might actually be a real injury kind of deal. So I was like, she just did the job.
She did a good
job. There you go.
Listen, fans complain to complain. She did a good job. I'm glad that this is the direction that Eva Maria is going in. You guys complain that she can't wrestle to begin with, so why not develop a character for the woman? At the end of the day, WWE sees money in this woman. She's marketable. She's really, really popping. I'm sorry, don't hate her because she's popping. Her Instagram, she has over 3 million followers. She's one of the most followed, sought out women in wrestling. WWE is not gonna get rid of her, so you guys just gotta embrace the girl and get over the hate. I'm over it.
But
And she's
let them tell the story.
Exactly.
That's what bothers me. I'm excited to see what happens next week on SmackDown because I want to know what's the next part of this
Me
story.
too. It's so
me too.
intriguing, especially the next segment that really perked my ears. Renee, in her new little setup, which I love, that SmackDown has this new little setup, kind of like Larry King Live, but with Renee Young. I love it. They sit on the opposite end, and they go there. You have a quick little interview before you go out for your match or whatever you're doing. So, you know, she's sitting there post-match, and she brings it on over Carmella, and Carmella's there. She cut a great promo. She started to talk about how she's excited to be in the women's division and blah, 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 and she gets cut off by Natty. Natty comes over, and Natty's like, and I really wish Nick was here because I thought Natty did a superb job in this freaking promo. I thought this was Natty's best deliverance to date. She was sitting there with Carmella, and Carmella was just going, and Natty comes in, and she's just like, why are you interviewing her? You should be interviewing me. I was having a conversation with my uncle, Bret Hart, and then she flips her hair. I really like that from Natty. And she's like, yes, I'm a Hart, and blah, blah, blah. And she's talking about how she's carried this division for over a decade, and she's not ready to, and she don't understand why Renee is wasting her time with somebody like Carmella. And that's when Carmella cut her off, and she was like, why don't you go get your Catwoman suit on, and why don't you meet me in the ring, and blah, 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 blah. Great exchange from both of these women, and I love the whole setup with the Renee Young little talk section. I love it. How do you feel about that, Brandy?
I love it. Natty, it was some of Natty's best mic work we've had lately. I like her pulling in Bret because, you know, Bret has heat going on for all the shit he's talking about wrestling on the outside. You know, he's like, this past year, he's had some negative things to say about Seth Rollins, and then when Seth Rollins was like, oh, it hurt my feelings, you know, because I respect Bret so much, and then Bret was like, tough kind of deal, you know? Like,
that was kind of like a shitty statement that he said to fucking Seth Rollins. It
really was. A lot of the things Bret Hart has been saying has been really shitty, and so because Bret is healing it up outside, it's awesome because Natty can pull from that and pull that into her character. I loved that. I loved the interruption. And Natty is someone that's awesome for Carmella to work with. A, because she's a ring general, she's a veteran, but because you do not expect Carmella to be Natty. You don't. And so they can actually have a long program, and you can get behind Carmella and be like, finally, she's won over Natalya, you know?
So, Sam, Carmella is your girl, and I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know exactly the positioning that your fave is positioned in. How do you feel?
Okay, so I have a little bit of an issue, but not that big of an issue.
Let us know.
So I enjoyed it. I thought the segment was great. Totally excited for this program that's trying to go with Natty. I think out of all the girls on the roster at the moment, Natty's the best one for her to start off in.
Yeah.
Like in a feud with, because you know she is a veteran and she can get the best out of Carmella. Carmella isn't the best in the ring. I'll admit that she's not, but she's improved a hell of a lot since she began.
Oh, she's so solid in the ring.
Yeah,
I trust her.
And pardon?
I said, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I trust Carmella in the ring. I trust her to give me a good match.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. That's what I mean. You think of, like, when she first started, she wasn't bad. She wasn't at all bad. It was just, you could tell she was green.
Yeah.
And now she's, like, improved her craft and stuff. The only issue that I had with the whole thing was that it was another women's section with no match.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
I just had to digest. Are you upset?
Even if it was just a squash match and No.
Absolutely not, Sam. This was perfect. I mean, all right. At the end of the day, guys.
No, yeah, I admit that it was.
This
good.
was my whole thing.
It was, but that was another 2-3 minute women's section.
I'm sorry, Sam. I do not agree with you. It really boils my skin when people are upset that they didn't have a match. That's exactly what WWE wanted. They wanted you to be so pissed off that this match was cut off. Carmella was in the middle. All right. whatever. The great exchange. Carmella, great on the fucking mic. I thought it was great what she said to Natty. I thought what Natty said to her was great. The exchange was perfect. Great setup for this match. Everybody was excited for this match. But we gotta remember that SmackDown is a 2-hour fucking show. They still gotta fit in everybody else. It's not just the women. And this is what a lot of the women fans
No, I get
upset
that. I
with.
get that.
So, instead of us getting a random 2-minute squash match, absolutely not. We had character development. Carmella came out with her entrance. We got to see her entrance. We got to see her debut, a new little entrance introduction, which
So
I was
get
saying
your
on the last show.
popcorn.
Yeah, like I said on the last show, Brandon. Remember, I was like, she needs to switch it up and change it. And I love that she came out, that she's the moonwalking, trash talking, get out your popcorns because I'm a put on a show type of chick. I love that she's the fabulous chick in SmackDown. She switched it up, and I was like, yes, Carmella. Somebody in WWE got their head on right, and they told her that she needed to switch that because that's exactly what I was thinking last week. I was like, it's not going to work for SmackDown. So as she was doing that, walking out to have her debut SmackDown match. This is her moment. This is what she's been dreaming of for so long when she was down on NXT. To come out. I know one of the listeners like, here goes James preaching again. But it's true. This is what she's been doing for so long. This is what she wanted. This is what we're invested to. Yes, Carmella's going to come out and debut on SmackDown. She's the first, call up, whatever. So she comes up. No. She's the first call-up to actually get a legitimate match from NXT, from in the SmackDown. But Eva Marie's been on SmackDown before, so I don't count her.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she's coming out. And then all of a sudden, Natty, who's done this before, this is starting to become Natty's trick. Her, this is what she always pulls out of the back. She'll attack them from behind. She did it to Becky Lynch, and now she just did it to Carmella. She just came out and cut it off. She's like, I'm not going to give this bitch a match. I'm just going to beat her fucking ass for disrespecting me backstage and let her know who the fuck I am. Natty came out, beat her up, threw her to the barricade, suplexed her, and then put her in the submission hold to humiliate her. So this is just going to build up more fire for us to see this match actually happen between her and Carmella. So I feel like this is something that they could really build on to lead to a pay-per-view match at Backlash. Maybe we could have a tag match and get them involved that way. You know what I mean? With Becky Lynch and Carmella and probably Eva Marie and Natty, since they're both on Total Divas together. It's some way that they can, they can play around with this so many ways. I'm so glad that it didn't go straight into a match. If it did, great, fine. We got to see a 3-minute match. I wouldn't have known that they had this planned, but I'm so glad that they did. I don't know why everybody's so upset that Natty came and cut Carmella's debut short. Of course Natty would do something like that. She's a heel, and this is what Carmella wanted. Carmella wanted the match, not Natty. So Natty came out to cut her off. I don't know. That's why I don't agree with what you have to say about that, Sam. I don't.
Well, James, if you're preaching, you can take me to church because I agree with you. I loved this.
I loved it.
I'm honestly okay with not seeing a match until up to the pay-per-view. I'm really okay because we're starting with the building blocks. SmackDown was a blank slate for women, and we are building little feuds. And you want to see, that's what the people are like, I wanted to see a match. That's the point.
Exactly.
Every time.
No, I think this is where you both get me a bit confused, right? I'm not saying that I'm pissed that there wasn't a match. There wasn't a match. I was peeved, but I liked what they did. Still, I just thought we would have had a match. That's all.
I'm more addressing the people that were on Twitter. Complaining about
me too.
A match.
Okay. Because I haven't said shit. I'm happy that what happened. I just wanted a match. That was all.
Here's my other point. Yeah. The women that we're seeing on Raw wrestle, we're seeing Nia Jax put away enhancement talents. WWE's building up Nia Jax. We're seeing Sasha and Charlotte, who's been having an ongoing feud for the past couple of months now, basically since WrestleMania, since NXT, let's be real. And we're seeing that. So I'm glad that SmackDown is building something for us. They're letting these women interact. Now we have a reason for Carmella to really want to beat up Natty. Not just because she interrupted her interview. No. Natty physically attacked her from behind during her debut match. That's so low. That's so low, Natty. And for her to come out and do some shit like that to her, now I'm excited for next week to see how Carmella's going to retaliate. Now we're definitely going to see more of Carmella because Carmella's been inserted in a storyline. So why you mad, bitch? That's what, no, not you.
Girl.
We're not talking about
Yeah.
you because you were like, I would have liked to seen a match, but this was really good. So
Yeah.
we're not talking about
You just
I
said
like
what
it
you would
being
prefer. You'd
shouted
want
at by our parents.
see, you wanted to see a women's match on SmackDown. You're like, we didn't get the Eva Marie one, and we didn't get the Carmella one. Boo. All right, I get you. And you're like, but anyways, I liked what happened. No, these people are on Twitter. They're like, SmackDown is disgusting. They treating the women poorly. They don't know what to do with their talent. I'm like, this is the fucking second episode. We had an introduction. We had seeds planted. Clearly, it's gonna be Alexa Bliss and Naomi that's gonna pop off real soon because everybody's getting paired up where they're going. It's like
well, Naomi had that thing with Alexa when she was like, "You can't be running your mouth when you haven't stepped foot in that ring."
Exactly. That's her seed planted. Now we see the Carmella and Natty seed being planted, and we saw the Eva Marie seed. Like, everything is starting to form, and people are so impatient that they want it all at once. It's like, absolutely not. What do you want? A random fucking 3-minute match that we used to get in 2012? Like, I don't understand. Me, all I've wanted in the women's division is story. And now we're getting it, and people are complaining. That's what boggles my mind. I'm like, we used to get these segments. You know, we had a segment where Carmella had a 2-part segment on fucking SmackDown to begin with. Before, she probably would have got 2 minutes, entrance cut, and she probably would have lost to Natty. Boom. That's Carmella's debut. Is that what people want? Is that what you want?
Or she would have been escorting the celebrity of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah,
she would be with P. Diddy tomorrow on Monday Night Raw. Coming out and doing the, they're both from New York doing the Diddy hop and bop and shit. Is that what you guys want? Or would you rather have Natty interrupt her having a interview with Renee, putting herself out there, getting ready to have a debut match, get cut off by Natty, and challenge Natty to a match to prove herself, to show Natty that she belongs on this roster, and then to make her way out to the ring, cut her fabulous promo, just for Natty to come and beat her up from behind like a sneaky, slimy heel? Hello? So, Blake...
And ruin her first day at her dream job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Blake, I'm going to need you to get it all the way together, bitch. Okay? And stop sending me every time you see a SmackDown segment just because there wasn't a match or something didn't happen that you didn't like and come and bitch and complain about it. I don't want to hear it. I really don't give a shit because you're not letting the story play out. You're not even seeing where is it going before you even start to shut it down. And that's why I shut you down. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not going to get into this nonsense because clearly you're not picking up what I'm saying. And I know Blake wants to come onto the show and he wants to explain himself. But I'm like, I don't want to argue about nonsense when you're clearly not understanding storylines and progression and how to build a character. You don't understand that part. You just wanted a match with Carmella and blah, blah, blah. But I prefer character development before a match. I want to know who I'm rooting for. I want to have a reason to want Carmella to win. I don't just want Carmella to win because Natty did all this shit to Becky before. No, I want her to have a personal issue with Natty as well. I want Natty to do something to her. I want Carmella to have a reason for smacking Natty in the face. I want Carmella to have a reason for moonwalking on that hoe's face. Like, not just because Natty's the bad guy. Like, is that what you guys want? No. Like, stop it. Enough with the SmackDown hate. Clearly, Raw is doing amazing things because they've had that story built in. Okay? So now let's move on from the women's division and get into Daniel Bryan's interview when he talked about the women's division a bit. And Daniel Bryan hit the nail on the head. He talked about how he talked about how SmackDown is going to get a women's championship. And he's like, but they're taking their time with it. And I can see that because how they're building up the women right now. They're getting them all positioned, getting ready for this women's title to come. They're not just saying, at SummerSlam, we're going to have a battle royal and we're going to name the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Like, that's just so... Like, alright, I don't give... Like, half of these people don't even know who the fuck Alexa is. They don't know who the fuck Carmella is. Eva Marie is an afterthought. They're like, this girl can't wrestle. But they're building a character for Eva Marie. They haven't seen Naomi, who's been underutilized for months. And now they're building this all up to eventually... And Nikki Bella's on her way back. I think it's clear as day that Nikki Bella's going to SmackDown. So, I think they're building this all up so then they can come announce, like, now we have all these women. They're all established. We know where they all stand. And now we have a women's title. Now you can pick who you want to become the champion. You know what I mean? SmackDown's not rushing into shit. And I'm going to need the fans to stop pushing them in the direction that you want them to be in. Because it's not going to work like that way. And don't tweet me the nonsense, because I just don't want to hear it. That's what I have to say about the whole Carmella and Natty. Anybody got anything else you want to chime in before we move on?
I just wanted to say, like, you're getting a lot of that Netflix culture in people. People are so used to binge watching things now that they don't remember what it's like to have to wait week to week to find something out with the spoilers and it's just going to take people getting accustomed to the fact that it's a live show now. There's not spoilers. You can't look ahead 3 weeks and figure out what's going on with it or whatever. That's how I feel.
That analogy, Brandy, was right on the money. It's all that whole on demand. Like you want it when you want it. It's not like that. This is reverting back to how wrestling used to be. It's like live shows. I remember I used to be so excited for Monday Night Raw when it was the only WWE program, and I watched Kane shoot China in the face with a fireball. I was like, oh my God. Me and my sister, I got out of my room. I went to my sister. Me and my sister met up in the hallway because we were both like blown away. Because I was watching in my room, she was watching in her room, and then we saw us trying to get shot in the face. Like, it's big moments and it's storyline progression. That wasn't in a match, but look at how much it did for China's career. You need these storylines. Look at Lana. Lana hasn't stepped foot in that fucking ring, all right? And she's so over. People love Lana. And Lana has, Lana barely even wrestles. She never even wrestles on WWE television. She wrestles on the live shows, but they haven't seen her wrestle on live TV yet. But fans are invested in her. We know who she is. Melina didn't wrestle forever. Developed a great character, and when she finally got into the ring, people hated her because she was such a great heel. Character development is important, and they're resorting back to that because NXT begun to do that. NXT brought that back. Look at Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is all character driven. Other than that, she'd just be a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
You gotta build characters.
I totally agree with you on that. Like, these fans don't remember what it was like to grow up as a wrestling fan in the 90s, and if you couldn't afford the pay-per-view, you were calling, like, the wrestling lines to find out what was happening on the pay-per-view kind of deal, or you had to wait until Monday Night Raw to find out. So
when I couldn't order it back in the day, we used to have the black box, and it used to be like really, really fuzzy, but we would hear it. Like, you could hear what's going on, but since you didn't order it, it'd be like a really fuzzy screen. Me and my brother would sit there and try to make out what's going on, and just by listening to the commentators. And
we had one of those as well.
Yeah.
Put channel 72 on. Oh yeah.
Yes, it was channel 72. Pay-per-view, channel 72. That's crazy, Sam. Yeah, like those were the days, and like now I know that we have a new generation. You guys are all for social media. You guys are all with fast shit coming. You all want the fast food. Not I. I want to sit down.
Oh, I'd love some fast food right now.
Fast food is good. It's good. But, I like a course. I want to have my dessert. I want to have an appetizer. I want to have a drink. I want to have a wine. I want to have my water. I want to have my dinner. I want to have my dessert. And then I want to have my blunt. And I want to, I want it all lined up for me. And that's what they're giving me now. They're really bringing us to the table. And they're sitting us down. And they're serving our asses. But you fucking people are just so over the fucking top. So Blake, girl, I'm calling you out, girl. Enough. Enough. Granted, Blake did tell me. He's like, okay, I'm going to stop my bitching, James, and I'm going to wait until after SummerSlam. And if after SummerSlam they don't give me anything I don't want, then blah, blah, blah. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck if you don't like it. I like it. So, girl, bye on that one. Let's move on. Girl. Ooh, I don't know. I got so mad when it came to that Smackdown segment. Everybody's throwing shade.
I did too.
All right, let's move on to a debut. My bae. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable debuted. They beat the Vaudevillains. It was a great showing. The first time that they were on the main roster, were their pops high and like electric? No. Will it get there? Absolutely. Because once again, the common WWE viewers have no clue who Gable and Jordan are. They have no idea who they are. They have no idea what they're in store for. So clearly they're not going to pop enjoy and scream enjoy for them because, you know why? SmackDown needs to build their characters on SmackDown. It's a whole restart button coming onto the main roster. So once again, fans got to be patient. But it was so great to see them on the main roster. I love Jason Jordan. He is just a vision of perfection. And listeners, he's officially my WWE bae. I've claimed him. He's mine, so back off. I'm kidding. But, Brandy, I know that you have a little thing for Chad Gable. How did you feel about Jordan and your boo Gable on the debut match?
Oh, I was so happy. I just like to see them wearing so much less than normal. I'm like, just keep wearing really tight clothes constantly.
Yes. See that.
You mentioned that they didn't get like a huge pop when they came out, but when they started the work in the ring,
Yeah.
you saw that crowd get behind them. These guys are gonna next week. I guarantee there will be a noticeable difference because they had a really strong debut.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about them. I really wish that WWE was more open to Kurt Angle having anything to do with them. They don't need it now, but back in NXT, I would have loved to have seen that. But I'm just happy to see them on the main roster because they mesh so well together. I like how the commentary team talks about how they brought out different aspects in each other to become this awesome tag team. It really helps strengthen the story for them as a unit kind of deal.
Yeah.
So,
and Kurt Angle really wants to work with them, too. Just to add on.
When we had that last Monday, just as a throwback, and I was live tweeting from our account, I was so, like, when Rusev was going off like he was, I was just like, Kurt Angle. Roman Reigns. Oh. But anyway, I was super excited to see the guys. I think they're going to be at the top of the NXT Tag Team Champion division.
Do you think that maybe Shelton Benjamin will be with them instead of Kurt Angle?
No.
Oh, but I don't think anyone's going to be with them. I do think that maybe at some point we might get one of those like 6-man matches with those three together, which would be fucking fire.
Lit.
I'd love to see that.
How do you feel about them debuting, Sam?
I was really, really glad about American Alpha being brought up. I thought it was a great match. The only issue I have, and I feel like a dick for saying it, but I feel like they're burying the Vaudevillains now. I don't like that.
I think they're getting punished because they had a fight backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Gotcha got into an altercation with Sin Cara.
Didn't he have a black eye? Didn't Gotcha have a black eye?
I'm not sure.
Because they had a quick little push and then they just fell off because they got in some.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of pissed me off a little bit. Like, you know, it's no disrespect to the Ascension, but what are they doing right now?
I don't know.
Throw them out against them. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't even know what brand they got drafted to. I used to
Smackdown.
like them, but whatever.
Well, if we haven't seen them, hopefully they're repackaging them. But no, I understand what you mean with the Vaudevillains kind of deal. But because
I love Aiden English.
With the Vaudevillains as heels, they can take that hit and just turn it around into something to fuel why they're being heelish, you know. So, I mean, if in that matchup, I understand why they would, because if they came out against the Ascension, I mean, there's really, you wouldn't have watched it. It's a piss break kind of deal because people have no respect for the Ascension. But
yeah,
and I think somebody like the Vaudevillains who's been in the WWE Tag Team title picture and for Jordan and Gable to come in and beat them off the bat, I think is a really good look for them. So I don't really feel bad that they were in that position.
But like even the Vaudevillains when it was the 4-way tag, they were the ones that took the fall again.
I mean, but Sam, who else is gonna take it?
Well,
you know
who was
what I mean?
in that match? Sorry.
I think it was the Dudley Boys, New Day, Enzo and Cass.
Okay, so why couldn't the Dudleys take it?
I don't know.
The Dudleys are already taking a lot of falls.
I don't know. The Dudleys
well, they can take one more.
Well, the Dudleys are on SmackDown too, so whatever.
I just annoys me. That's all.
I don't know. I'm okay with them.
I just see them using this loss, and as well as probably we might see them lose a couple more. I just see them using that as a way to refuel their fire kind of deal. I have faith that the SmackDown writers aren't just burning people, you know.
Well, speaking of,
I hope so.
Speaking of tag teams, we had Fandango and Breeze out in the ring. Fandango was having a match with Randy Orton because Randy Orton threw some shade at him on Monday night or whatever the pay-per-view. So Fandango's there, he's having a match with him, and all of a sudden security is all around the ring, and la-di-da. Brock Lesnar comes, and he goes and he F5s Randy Orton, so he got his little payback on Randy Orton, which was good. You know, it built up more to the match, so they're going to get a nice video package for SummerSlam. That's all I was thinking. But let's move on. Ziggler. This is who I really want to talk about. So Ziggler was upset. He comes out, he has a little exchange with Dean Ambrose. And here's my thing. I know that Ziggler gave a really passionate promo and blah, blah, blah. And Dean basically said, like, all you are is all talk and I get things done. What I will say is, I like Dean's stance. Because you know what? I get so aggravated when Dean comes on screen. I'm just like, I usually fast forward, but I'm like, you know what? Let me give the man a chance as the WWE champion. I'm going to give him a chance, and I'm going to watch it. So I sat there, I watched it. I thought Dean did a good job. I really do. And I want him to stray away from the goofiness. Because it doesn't, if you're going to be a lunatic fringe, I don't need you being cutting jokes and being cheeky and shit. It just doesn't work for me. Because I keep thinking he's a lunatic fringe, right? But why is he making jokes? Why is he, like, no. But anyways, my thing with Ziggler is, I feel like the reason why, because he got really upset that on Twitter because fans were kind of like upset that he got the push. He's like, at first they wanted me, now they don't want me. The thing with Ziggler is, it's not you, man. It's WWE. They keep giving you these things to say on how you're going to come and you're going to take the belt. But we all know it's not going to happen. There's no way they're going to put the belt on you. You're not beating Dean. So my thing is, I want him to go into SummerSlam as a heel. As a babyface. And then I want a full-fledged heel turn with Ziggler. Ziggler needs to go heel. Somebody needs to go heel on Smackdown. Because there's only so many people that freaking Dean can feud with. Because there's so many top babyfaces on Smackdown. The only other one that I can think that's eligible is AJ Styles. But he's busy with... He's currently busy with Cena, who they had a good little exchange too, but we don't have time to get into all of that. But we'll see what happens with Ziggler, but I hope he's a heel. How do you feel about their whole little exchange, Sam?
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I agree that his Ziggler needs to go heel. I just think his character gets a bit stale.
Yeah, it does.
He's kind of been stuck in this little mid part, which I think he's he can do so much more. I was surprised that he won the match though.
Against
the
Bray.
number one contendership. I was surprised that he was the one that won it all.
Me too. And then he put it on the line with Bray. I liked when he was backstage with with Shane and Daniel Bryan, and they were like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, F you guys. You guys don't even believe in me either." And he walked away. I need more of that. We need a heel turn. What about you, Brandy? How do you feel about Ziggler?
I love Dolph Ziggler. I've been a big Dolph Ziggler fan for a long time. Even when he's stagnant, even when he's still, I love him because this segment, this is what I love, is this was one of those episodes, like the old episodes where a story was told throughout the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved that because in one show, in 2 hours, Dolph Ziggler took you from, man, this is just a squash match, this is so lame, to, holy shit, Dolph Ziggler. You got behind his character, you got invested, you were surprised. I was really pleased with that. This is what I would like to see from Dolph. I don't want him to win against Dean, but I don't want him to lose. I want it to be an interference kind of thing that he loses. I would love to see like Bray Wyatt interfere kind of deal and him lose, but instead of snapping on Bray Wyatt, snapping on Dean.
Yeah.
Maybe snapping on both of them and just laying out, and that kicks off the heel turn. Yeah. Because, we do need a heel. Dolph Ziggler is amazing as a heel, and I would really, so many times in Dolph's career, he's gotten a championship, like the big guy, the big push, and something unfortunate happens. So before he retires, I want to see him get one reign that doesn't get interrupted by an injury.
And at the end of the day, he's a show-off. Show-offs are bad guys. They're heels. They're cocky.
Yeah, I used to believe that Dolph needed a little something beside him as an extra push, like, how when he had AJ and stuff, because I was like, he just needs someone. He needs a Vicky. He needs an AJ. But I feel like these promos that he did this last week helped prove that Ziggler has grown and matured, and he can be by himself as a standalone.
He absolutely can. He just needs. He's stale and he's dry right now. He's just that cookie that stayed out too long and nobody ate it. That's it.
Yeah, Kevin Nash has been super vocal about wanting to come back and be the Diesel for
Ziggler?
Dolph. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Oh.
I would like that. That would be really cool.
It would be cool. It would be a nice little rub, but he doesn't need it. Like that, he's worked so hard to establish he become a better actor and establish himself that I don't think he would necessarily need it. Would he benefit from it?
Well, think about it. All right, when you look at the SummerSlam card, before we move on to to NXT, which is going to be our last topic, if you look at the SummerSlam card, it is stacked. We got that great Cena and AJ Styles promo that really got me excited for that match. But we don't have time to really get into it because that was really good. But I just want to give them their light. And then you got Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins, you got the Women's Championship. It is stacked. And then you have Dean and Dolph, who's wrestled like 100 fucking times. You know what I mean? Something's gotta give. They're building a story right now on SmackDown, and it's kind of leaning towards a Ziggler heel turn, and I feel like it has to happen. And if you want people to be invested with SmackDown, if you want us to be excited to see what's going to go on SmackDown after the pay-per-view, Ziggler is going to have to pull out all the stops at SummerSlam. He is just going to have to, like you said, Brandy, if Bray comes out to interfere or anything, he's going to have to attack fucking Dean after the match and just let out all his frustrations. Yeah. I think that would be a great way to do that. But
I think it is because it protects Dolph.
Exactly.
Because I don't want him to
lose clean either. Dean. No, I don't want a clean loss to Dean either. It's got to be, something's got to give. And I think we're going to see it. And before we move on, I want to make a quick little mention with Heath Slater. Heath Slater's so entertaining as fuck. Oh, and I loved his little segment with Daniel Bryan. He got gored out of nowhere. I thought that was hilarious. So shout out to SmackDown writers. That was perfect booking for Rhino to fit him in on the show. So next week we're going to see Heath Slater versus Rhino, I'm sure. So that was a good segment of Heath Slater. He's so funny, that guy. But let's...
Yeah, and then like Monday with Jinder Mahal coming back and that happened.
That was random. I was listening to a couple of podcasts that they think that Drew Galloway's is going to come too. So, you know, with all the new signings at WWE. And then they have rumors where Melina getting signed. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I really want to get into NXT because this is starting to go into a long show. NXT started...
And it's like late in the UK.
What time is it, girl? It's like 1?
It is 12:15.
Oh, all right.
And I got work in the morning.
We'll be done in like 10 minutes probably.
It's okay.
Alright, so Hideo Itami comes out. My boo. I'm so excited that he's back. And he's sporting that scar. It just shows that he's been through hell and fucking back. He came out. He had a great match. Great showing for him. I love the match. I'm just so excited that he's back. And he looks better than ever. And I love his haircut. He's just so fucking cute. I can't get over how cute he is. I don't know what it is with me and Hideo. I just have a crush on him. And I'm just so happy that he's back. I can't fathom any other words, but I'm just so happy. I can't wait to see where he's going, what storylines. I also heard in the commentary they mentioned about the last time we saw him at NXT, he got attacked backstage, and people were like, they were kind of like ruined that it was Kevin Owens who attacked them backstage. It's been rumored, but Corey Graves shut it down. Why are you blaming Kevin Owens? So I hope they're going to, because it was originally supposed to be Kevin Owens. I hope they just package that storyline for somebody else who attacked them. I don't know. Or maybe he could get into something with another person who debuted on NXT, which was Bobby Roode from from TNA. He showed up over there. He has a whole new gimmick. Glorious. He came out. He talked to the fans. He talked about how he's so grateful to be in NXT. And then he just shaded the hell out of them and talked about how great he is and how he needs to be here, and then he's going to change the game. So let's start with you guys' thoughts on Hideo's comeback and Bobby Roode's debut. I'll start with you, Brandy. How do you feel?
I was excited about Hideo, but I thought that they would make that the person who attacked it. I thought that they would use that to build up maybe something between him and Joe.
Oh yeah, could have said it was Joe, right?
Yeah. So, because like that would make a lot of sense because you and I had discussed that we felt like Samoa Joe was working the program that was meant for Hideo.
Ooh, but Brandy, that's still a possibility that after he finishes with Shinsuke Nakamura, they can go back to that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm wondering about. It's like, could it be that Joe did it and that will be found out after the program with Shinsuke? Because I don't see Joe dropping that belt.
I don't see it either.
I know. I think like if anyone has to break Shinsuke's streak, that Joe is, he's the NXT champion. So that makes, he beat Finn Balor, who took Shinsuke to the limit. So
I don't think Shinsuke is going to lose. I think Joe's going to walk out. Like, he's just going to take a beat and be like, I just can't.
Yeah.
But what about you, Sam? How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm thinking that Joe's going to win. To be honest, I didn't think that Itami would go into a thing with Joe, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
As Bobby Roode, I love Bobby Roode.
What about you, Brandy? How do you feel about Bobby Roode?
I have so much fun singing his music when he comes out.
Glorious! I like it too. I like his character. I like how he went from the it factor to glorious. I'm gonna make NXT glorious. I could really see the belt on him. He looks like the type that you just throw a belt on. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's so good on the mic. He's a good worker. So I'm excited to see him down at NXT. And I think it's time. You know, they brought back Hideo Itami. They have Bobby Roode debut. I think the timing was appropriate because they just pushed out some big major talents out to the main roster, and NXT still wants to travel and collect them coins. It's all about that chingo chingo, baby, in my Nick hands. But
Oh, you know what has pissed me off about Robbie Roode?
go ahead.
His match coming up for Takeover.
Who's he wrestling?
The one that you like, that CN.
Oh, really? That's who he's wrestling?
Like, they fucking buried him.
You know what they did? His character came out and they didn't know what the fuck to do with it.
They didn't give up.
They came out with the hat thing. I like that he was the unmasked luchador and all that bullshit. But I could really get into this, and we don't have the time to do it tonight. And I'm really a little upset with that. So we'll see what they're gonna do with him.
No, you can go for it.
He'll be okay. He is so good looking. He's so talented.
Yeah.
You can't keep that kid down. He's going to be something. I mean, you just can't be that fucking gifted in the ring and in your body and people not love you.
They said that out of all the guys, that the women in the NXT voted the most good looking guy, and he won. They were all like, he's hot, and clearly he is. And he's apparently charming as hell. So I feel like NXT, I feel like the spot that they gave No Way Jose should have been his with Austin Aries, because I'm not here for No Way Jose. Like, No Way Jose, goodbye. The character is just so sickening. But I kind of like what Austin Aries is actually trying with this feud. I like how he was dancing. He was so cute. I love Austin Aries. He's like a little pocket rocket. I just want to put him in my pocket.
Yeah.
They were testing that storyline between Bobby Roode and No Way Jose instead on like live shows and stuff.
With CN, like, being like the luchador kind of deal, you know, we're about to get a ton of those CWC guys flooding into NXT and the cruiserweight division on Raw, so there's plenty of room for him to work with someone. They've just decided to take a back seat for now.
I think that's the best option. Instead of just burying him, I'm okay with them giving him a spot on TakeOver with somebody like Bobby Roode, and losing to somebody like Bobby Roode isn't terrible. It's not like he's losing to, like, just, I don't know, no shade to the Perfect 10, but, like, you know, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. So let's move on. We had an interview with Bayley. Bayley's backstage with the new girl backstage on Smackdown. I really, really like her. The new
Is it Charlie?
Charlie, is that her name? She's so good. Where did she come from? Was she ever on NXT? I never seen her before.
I think she did live events on NXT, but she's not been there that long. I think she's got some previous history.
I remember her getting signed. I remember reading about her getting signed.
I liked her too. She did really well.
I like her a lot. I think she's really good. She has the big doughy eyes, the puppy eyes. Like when
Charlie Caruso.
She's good.
But then, yeah.
She's good. I like her. And I like Andrea. I like Andrea too on NXT. I like these girls that WWE's hiring. They're not just making their women wrestlers backstage interviewing people. I like that they're actually bringing in journalism and bringing these. Like, I feel like Renee cut that path for these women. So you know, they got Kathy Kelly. Kathy Kelly's fucking amazing. So I like that. I love that trend.
I love all of the YouTube stuff that Kathy Kelly does.
Yeah, I love that. Her whole little, like, what's going on in WWE shit.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
And well, you know, like, Instagram have now got their, like, Snapchat thing.
So annoying.
That Andrea is, like, taking over that. Like, Andrea DeMarco.
Oh, that's cool. She's a good one,
She's been, like, taking over that, and I like that.
I like that. It's really good. I love how they're having spots for all these backstage interviewers and the women. I love it. They're all small. You know, they have this trend. They want the small girls to make the guys look bigger. And this girl, like, the way her facial impressions and everything, I think is on point. I think she's really good. So, anyways, let's go back to Andrea. Andrea's backstage. She's interviewing Bayley, and she's asking Bayley about her thoughts on her up-and-coming match with Asuka at TakeOver. So Bayley's talking about it, and then all of a sudden she gets cut off by Asuka, Asuka's getting ready to go out for a match. And Asuka said something like, she threw some shade at Bayley. I don't know. She said something really subtle, and then she called Bayley a coward, I believe. That's what I made out. Is that what she said, or did I hear it wrong? She called Bayley a coward, right?
I'm going to watch it back now.
She had a very thick accent, but what I made out was...
I thought she said that Bayley wasn't ready. Like, Bayley had been talking, like, building up that she was ready,
No.
and I thought she had said she wasn't ready.
Let's find it.
No, she said it was a one-word
NXT,
thing.
NXT this past week, their backstage segments, some of them were really low to where you had to crank up the TV to hear it. It was
Okay.
audio issues.
You found it, Sam?
I'm ready to take my title back.
Yeah.
I am ready for.
Here comes Asuka now.
You ready?
You think you're ready? Come watch. That's what she said.
Oh, come watch.
Think you're ready? Come watch.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I knew it was something with a C. I was like, did she call her a coward? And I was like, oh, no, she didn't, Asuka. So, regardless, Bayley comes out and she sits down with Corey Graves or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Aaliyah's theme song hits off. Aaliyah comes out hopping around. Hey, Sam, we're going to have to pay for it.
Oh, shit.
So she came out. She's like jumping around, whatever. I like her gear and I like her hair color. So I give it to Aaliyah. Really cute. I don't know where this character's going, girl. I really don't. But anyways, Asuka comes out. She does her entrance. The crowd's going wild. I like her new coat. And then she walks around the ring. She grabs a chair. She unfolds the chair. And she sits it down. She climbs up on the turnbuckle. She points at Bayley. And then she points at the chair. And I was like, yes, queen. You tell her where she's going to have her several seats, girl. So they're like, oh, the crowd's all like, oh, shit. I really like that. Great character development. Super, super good for somebody like Asuka, who's very intense and in your face and hard hitting. And she told Bayley exactly where to go and go sit down. Very heelish. And I like that Asuka didn't have to say anything, but the message was clearly received. So Bayley gets up, she comes over, she sees the chair, she folds up the chair and she just throws it. She's like, no, bitch, I'm in a stand. So I really liked that. It really got me excited for this match. And then the match carried on. Asuka, girl, no pun intended, but Asuka whooped Aaliyah's ass. Aaliyah was just getting kicked in the head, dragged over here. Granted, the girl sold everything fabulously. She got kicked in the head when she was coming off the turnbuckle, which I thought was brutal as hell. And then I like how Asuka got her and Asuka went to go pin her and then stopped the pinfall. I really like that. Very heelish, but I was just like, yes, Asuka, fucking rub it in Bayley's face, make her watch. And then I like how she freaking yanked Aaliyah and kind of like twisted her around and then got her in the Asuka lock. She kind of reminded me like a snake, like a boa constrictor, like how they just wrap you up and then they fall with you. Kind of like when an alligator snaps at somebody and then twists around and then takes you in. I really like how Asuka applied that. And Aaliyah tapped out and Asuka wouldn't let go because she was just intimidating Bayley until Bayley came into the ring, and that's when Asuka let go and like they had a little face off with Bayley, and then she put her belt in Bayley's face and blah blah blah, and then her theme song hits and she walks off. So very
Do you think we're going to get a heel Asuka?
I hope so, because we're going to talk about who's coming soon. But how do you guys feel about this whole matchup? I'll start with you, Brandy. How did you feel?
I thought it was great storytelling. I loved it. I don't know that we're going to get heel Asuka. We're definitely getting tweener Asuka. We've got Asuka that's the baddest bitch right now, and she fucking knows it, and I like that. I don't think that you have to be on one side or the other. Right now, she's just like, I'm the baddest, and you want my title, and you are thinking that you've got me figured out. Not so much. I can't wait for that matchup because it's going to be a really good match because it's been so long since they've even touched in the ring. So, they've been working out at the Performance Center and working on something great. I think we're going to see Asuka go over, and that's going to lead up to the feud that I have been waiting like a year for.
I think everyone's been waiting for, haven't they?
Yeah, so I think we're going to see Asuka really bring out a more vicious side in Bayley that we haven't seen since maybe her and Sasha tied it up in Brooklyn kind of deal. But I think I've actually read the spoilers ahead, so I know kind of what happens in the next few weeks. But I do like where this feud is going leading up to Brooklyn. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be hot. It's good TV.
It's building up fabulously. And I'm here for it. These two women can go. I feel like this is going to be one of Bayley's hard-fought matches. I feel like Asuka's just basically Asuka's telling her, I ain't holding back, girl. I don't care that you be loved by NXT. Because remember when everybody was like, oh, Asuka's win was lukewarm. It was so like, oh, her title reign. I'm like, cuz, you guys don't realize who she took the belt off of. She took the belt off the heart and soul of NXT, Bayley. So obviously it's not going to be as received. So I think that it's important for them to show that aggressive side of Asuka, how she's just like telling Bayley to come out and sit ringside, girl, and watch what I'm gonna do. Because you think you're ready, you ain't ready for me. So I'm excited for it, and I think Asuka's gonna go over. And I think she's getting ready for new competitors because honestly, it's Bayley's time to go up. It's Bayley's time, and we had a cool little promo on NXT of there's a moon in the background, there's a guy hyping up something. He's like, something's coming. It's like the moon and blah blah blah, and then it pops off Amber Moon, and then it shows the date, August 20th, which is the day before SummerSlam. So Amber Moon is going to be debuting at TNA Brooklyn, and I'm on TNA Brooklyn. Can you?
TNA?
I know.
Girl.
What is that? NXT Brooklyn. That's where Amber Moon is going to be debuting. So I'm so excited. I know, Sam, you think that she's going to be facing off again.
Well, we've kind of been talking like about who we think they're going to go up against, and like on
Billie Kay's the
like
popular
that video
choice.
that. Yeah, but I think maybe it's too soon to push down Billie Kay, like because they're kind of building her up. But Brandy sent in our chat that video of Liv Morgan and Ember going at it, and I think that'd be great.
I think it's a good spot for Liv and like to advance Amber Moon, but I feel like if she goes and fights Liv, what's the fucking what do you get out of that? But I feel like somebody like Billie Kay, who they're actually starting to build up, and you know, in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably see a couple more showings of Billie Kay, and then for her to go up and against Billie Kay, for Billie Kay to lose and then get upset, and then it could be more for Billie Kay's character. But how do you feel, Brandy?
They could go either way with it. As far as Billie Kay goes, I would be more comfortable with her going up against Ember.
Me too.
If she had been built as a heel as much as Dana had been when Asuka came in, I think that Liv has the ability to work a really good match with Ember. But it kind of, I don't really know. I don't know which way they're going to go because with Billie Kay, they stand to hurt Billie Kay, so they'd have to have a backup safety net. But then, you know, Billie could have a really strong showing in the match because we know from experience that if they have a strong showing in the match and it's not just a squash, then it doesn't really hurt them. But then I don't know that just going and having a match with Liv would be as impactful. It's a weird time because there's not anyone really besides Billie that has an established character from the New Guard.
And Billie picked up a win, which leads me to believe that it's going to be Billie.
She'd do good business with Peyton. It'd be a good match.
I don't want to Peyton. I feel like Peyton's probably heading back to the drawing board. Not like completely redo her character. I think they're just trying to figure out a direction for her character. And as I feel when I think about Billie Kay, I feel like they finally found where they're going with Billie Kay. Like, you know, they got the theme song down, they got the entrance down, the look is down. Love the look. But I just feel
I hate how you mention theme songs because they always want to start singing them. And I can't.
Wait.
I love Billie Kay's one.
I'm so here for Billie Kay's.
Yeah, we had a good conversation about Billie Kay's theme song. But honestly, I feel like it's going to be Billie Kay. Because remember prior, when we saw Nia Jax having all these enhancement matches, and she was just squashing bitches left and right week after week, it was just to build up for her match against Asuka. So I feel like this is just Billie Kay's time to have her enhancement matches, stop beating girls up, give her a backstage promo next week of Billie Kay talking about how she got her first win in NXT and she can't wait for her next one. And then William Regal could be like, you're getting a bit cocky, and I think that I have the best opponent for you. And then he could announce that it's going to be Amber Moon, and then everybody's going to be like, oh shit, it's going to be Billie Kay and Amber Moon, you know? So I feel like that's the best direction at this point. But, you know, it's NXT. NXT always takes care of us, especially when it comes to these takeover shows. So either way, I'll be okay with it.
I'm just excited. I don't care who it's against. It could be against anyone. It could be a jobber. I don't care. I just am so excited for her to be on the roster. I'm so excited, like just the little bit that we've seen they've done with the character. I loved the real dramatic, and I'm a big fan of vernacular used in wrestling, like the words you say when you're saying your promos and doing something different. And so her little promo package has been so different, and I'm hoping that spills over kind of into how she speaks about herself.
Well, she is very intelligent. She's well spoken. So
highly, highly intelligent. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Well, guys,
that'd be great.
We've said a lot. And I think we've come to our end. But before we leave, I really want to put over the lovely Sam Pelly the Brand's fantasy booking, which was fabulous. I loved it. I think you listeners need to click on over to our page and go find it. It's right there. It's the video just after this one. And you guys need to check it out. It is super, super good. Sam, you want to pimp it out a bit?
Yeah. Well, it's fantasy booking series 2, so it's the subtitle for the whole thing was The Return. So we're like bringing back former, I don't want to say divas, but at the time a lot of them were considered as divas. You know what I mean?
They're coming back to reclaim their positions in the division. Like, how would they fit in
how we do it. So I've chosen, well, my one, as you can see from the picture itself, is Maxine, who was only on the NXT Redemption. Is that what it's called? NXT Redemption?
Yes.
But she had like great character, and she had an amazing career outside of WWE in Lucha Underground. So, she's seen it on Twitter. She loves it. Hugo Knox is in it.
They showed us love. They liked it. So it's pretty good. So I suggest the listeners go and listen to it. Come on. Sam got Hugo Knox and Carly Perez, Maxine, Katrina to listen to his fantasy booking. So why the fuck won't you guys go listen to it? Let's get it cracking. Yeah. Go listen to it.
Do it.
Super, super good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And we have more of those coming your way. So just look out for them.
It was so fun to write as well, so I can't wait to hear everyone else's.
Yeah, they're super fun. I
know Tom's been working on his, but he said he's changed his because it sounds quite similar to mine.
I had that same problem. Like, I had written 4 weeks of television, and then Sam's Year came out, and I actually made my friend listen to yours with me because he had read mine. He was like, no, there's literally the only thing that's similar is this one thing, so it's okay. But at first, when you were first going through setting up, I was like, ugh, this.
Who are you doing yours
completely.
On? Brandy, who did you do yours on?
I'm doing mine on Shelly Martinez.
Oh,
yes.
I like that.
Yes, Queen. I'm excited about it.
I like that a lot.
I told my friend, my best friend is a guy named Devo, and he is a huge wrestling fan. We call him the encyclopedia because he knows so much about wrestling. And he was reading it, and he was like, "This is awesome. Like, I wish this would be on the show." And he was listening to Sam's. He was like, "I love that. That would be so cool."
I like that. I'm interested. I'm doing mine on Kelly, but there's a twist. She's a heel. So I
love that, like, we've all gone from different approaches, though, because, like, I've done, like, an obscure woman, Brandy's doing an obscure woman, and you're going for a heel babyface.
Yeah.
Who is Nick and Tom doing those on?
Nick is doing Beth Phoenix.
Oh.
And Tom's doing Gail Kim, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
I don't think Gigi's doing one.
No.
We have a really cool, rounded out selection of women. I hope it would be awesome if it got to WWE and they were like, "This is good. We're going to run with this." I would be extremely happy.
They ain't running with
I'd
shit.
be pissed that I didn't have no money.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, Sam. They ain't running with shit until we get that jingle jingle, baby, okay? Yeah. They're going to have to send us some coins our way, TP, or hire us, okay? Because we were really
hire
get your
TPP.
show together.
That's the hashtag that I'm starting. Hashtag hire TPP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tweet it out, guys.
All right, we've said a lot. Now let's give out our Twitters. Sam, where can people follow you at?
You can follow the brand on Twitter and Instagram at sampele_. And I've been kind of on Snapchat a lot recently. I'm going away with work this weekend to a festival, so if you want to go on Snapchat, it's just Sampele on there, and you can watch my adventure.
Oh, nice. Where you going?
For the company that I work for, it's so confusing now. So the company I work for is called CEX, like the letters, but it's pronounced sex.
Okay.
And we have a festival every summer, and it's paid for by the company, and it's called Sex Fest.
Okay.
So I'm going to Sex Fest.
Well, wear a condom.
I got them ready.
Wear a raincoat. Brandy.
You dirty dog.
It is what it is. Brandy, where can people follow you at and catch all your shade and all you dodging all these bullets coming your way on your Twitter page?
Oh my God, yes. You can follow me on Twitter at Miss Wrestleblog. At Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Miss Wrestleblog. And you can read my articles on Diva Dirt. And yeah.
Yeah, check out the Diva Dirt articles. They're really good. And she's stirring up some trouble in the women's wrestling industry. And
And it was all. Do you know how fucking strange it is to just wake up one day and realize that you have started all this drama?
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea that this. Well, I thought it was going to be a one-off.
Were you getting a lot
article,
of alerts or something?
No, I just I logged in the Diva Dirt chat and people were like, "What is even going on?" Like there was this big debate about it. All these
God.
Paige is upset. Paige's mama was upset. And I was like, oh my gosh. But it's because people take it and run with it how they will. If you would actually read the article.
That's what I'm saying. They probably didn't read it all.
Well, I was talking with you, James, earlier. I understand why Paige's mom would be frustrated kind of deal, or why even Paige was. But here's the thing. I wrote this article that later that day, the anger that Saraya had about the article was then being reported on. So I created news. Saraya confirmed that Paige had an injury. So in WWE hadn't said anything about that. So I kind of forced news out of her with this article. But and now we're trying to get some statements from her. So it's
you did your job.
Yeah.
You did your job as a journalist.
People don't understand. They're like, oh, people trashing Paige. I'm like, I'm not trashing Paige at all. Do I care who Paige sleeps with? Absolutely not. Do I really care what happens in her personal life? Absolutely not. But it's my job to report on it. And the article that I reported on, because there was nothing out that said, hey, she's got a shoulder injury, I went with what the speculation was, which fans were saying on Reddit, Twitter, and things like that. A lot of my article was set to be is this a storyline? Blah, blah, blah. And it was supposed to be taken a lot more lightly than it was. But you know how fans are. They've got that selective listening skills. So
I don't know. A lot's been going on with Paige. But what I will say is that where there's smoke, there's fire. And the other thing is, the last time I seen her, she did something really disrespectful on television. And it was I think the last time, Dana Brooke beat her. And she just automatically kicked out of Dana Brooke's finisher. Right when the ref hit 3, she kicked out and rolled up. And I was just like, girl, you didn't even sell for her. Why are you that petty? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny is that Diva Dirt's been getting a lot of heat over that article. But so PW Mania has released an article that's about backstage concern over her WWE future. And there's more speculation that she's had an attitude problem and stuff like that. So a lot of us were like, maybe that's why everyone was so upset, because there's kind of a hint of truth in that article. Maybe. I don't know that for sure. I just
there's
know
smoke,
what
there's fire.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. Mm-hmm. But you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I know I don't really give out my Instagram, but lately I've been using it. So you can follow me on Instagram at Jimmy Vibes, and you can follow me on Twitter at JimmyVibes_. And we'll be back probably next week or later this week. We'll see. Actually, this is a long-ass show, bitches. I think this is what you're getting for the weekend, and we will see you guys next week after the whole week of wrestling, because there's nothing else to talk about. We covered everything for the week. This is why
while we cover everything, don't forget as well to follow us on our Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
at @_RealPipeBomb, and the Instagram, which is
the Pipe Bomb Podcast.
The Pipe Bomb Podcast, I think, isn't it? Yeah, the Pipe Bomb Podcast. So we've got Gigi and Tom on the Instagram, me and Nick on the Twitter, Brandy on the Twitter doing the live tweets, and James just making covers galore.
And making sure these bitches are here when it's time to do a show, okay, Nicholas?
Yeah.
I can't. So we all have our jobs.
You want the content, we're bringing you the content.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The listeners put us together last time around, and now I feel like we're doing a better job. So I want to thank you guys for joining us, Sam.
The listeners didn't even want me, but I'm here.
Oh, yeah. You guys never show Sam any love. Sam,
nobody ever asked for Brandy and Stan.
No, they just don't like us, Brandy. Makes me sad.
I don't think so. I think it's because you guys are not as opinionative. You guys need to come in. You guys need to yell at people like me. Yell at me. Yell at Nick. Nick yells. Gigi yells.
That's right. Next time me and Sam are going to testify.
You got it.
Yeah, just going to do a me and Brandy show of us just getting really angry.
Call each other out. That's all it is. We all love each other.
Oh, I think we have too much love for each other.
We do, but if I don't agree, like what you were saying about the...
No, not me and Brandy have too much love for each other to even start shouting.
I know, you guys are just at the same page, but I'm just saying, you guys should come at other people,
We should have a show with Tom.
Tom will really get it out of you, see?
No, because if it's me and Tom, it gets personal.
It shouldn't be. We need to keep it wrestling based. That's the only thing I argue with you guys is about wrestling. Other than that...
Me and that bitch will just keep it wrestling related.
That's the only thing we really do fight about is wrestling, though.
Because I got the screenshots, bitch.
But you and Tom get a little personal sometimes. But
It's
whatever.
just
It's a
British
UK
people
thing.
just don't like other British people.
I guess. Like these two, when they go at it, I get a little worried. I'm like, oh, they better calm down, girl. You need none of that. But when I go at it, it's usually wrestling related, or me and Gigi will go at it. I think me and Gigi go at it the most, or me and Tom.
I haven't really tied it up with anyone, so.
No, Beardy, you're pretty neutral. That's what I'm saying. You guys gotta spice it up a bit. Come in and put somebody together. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, tell me to shut the fuck up and I'm wrong. And you know me, I'm gonna come back and be like, no, bitch, you're wrong. You know?
That's what's so funny about all the drama with the Paige article, because it's from me. And I'm just so
I'm so shocked
laid
that
back
you
and
caused all
calm.
this commotion, Brandy. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good thing. Bad or good publicity, any kind of publicity is good publicity. So good on you, girl. You got an excitement. You got people talking. So keep it going. That's all I gotta say, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that bar going. But I want to thank you guys for joining us. Sam, thank you so much for staying up late. And Brandy, thank you for filling in. I really, really appreciate it, because I didn't think we were going to have a show today, guys, because Nick flaked. But he showed up. He came, he said hello, and then he left. So, girl, bye. But I'm sure Nick will be on the next show, because I'm really going to drag him by his hair on the next show, guys. I really am. You guys going to hear about a whole new TPP fight between James and Nick, because it's about to go down.
Oh my gosh. At one point, there needs to be like a cover of you and Jay. Like, that's the cover is actually photos of you and Nick, and it's just you two going at it.
A face-off? I don't know. I love Nick too much. I really care. But lately, he's been trying me, and I'm holding my tongue. Lately, I've just resorted to gifts. Pretty soon, I'm gonna run out of the damn gifts. Okay, Nick? I'm gonna need you to show up, girl. I love Nick. I love everybody. But this is running long. We've been on for 2 hours, and I need to go.
Oh my god!
I need to go work out. I can't. I didn't work out yesterday. I need to work out today. I just can't.
I go to bed. I work in the morning.
All right.
Yeah, I ain't doing shit, so I'm just gonna go.
Toodaloo, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Good night.